This week, we look at the town of Irvington, Alabama, where a troubled person went from getting their life back on track to murder in one night. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, and welcome to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. We're so excited this week. We apologize profusely for last week because
shit, James.
It sucks. We recorded an episode. We put it together. We came to the studio. We recorded it.
We spent 3 hours of our lives in here.
That's the
let
problem.
alone the countless hours outside of it.
Oh, yes, and then spent so much time. One of the mics didn't work, and it worked at the time, and it's everything is fine. And then when you went to edit it, it literally one of the mics wasn't there. Just Jimmy was gone, and I sounded like a crazy person who was talking out into a void, and then hearing something that I took as an answer and then answering it like a lunatic. So you wouldn't have liked it.
The weirdness.
You wouldn't have liked it. It would have been very, very strange. So we're going to try it again this week.
Right.
Thank you, folks, so much this week for your iTunes reviews. Even though there wasn't an episode, you guys still came through a lot. We really, really appreciate it. It's a big thing on the business end. iTunes has some weird, funky algorithm that weighs these stupid reviews heavily. So thank you, folks, so much for doing that. If you have not yet, please get on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say. Tell us it's hot where you live. Because it's hot where we live.
It's hot everywhere.
It's hot everywhere.
This week there's been fucking
people dying in
records.
the heat.
In the Midwest.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's awful.
So sad.
Do that. Tell us your saddest heat story.
Yeah.
You can do that. And
it was 87 in Phoenix on Saturday.
That was amazing.
And 106 in Wisconsin.
That was weird. We had a weird rainy day. It'll be 111 here Friday. It'll be 74 there. So
it'll
screw you, Wisconsin. We don't feel so bad for you.
Until Halloween.
Definitely. So do that. Give us the review. If that's not enough for you, if you want to be a superstar, a hero producer, one of those fine people that we'll talk about at the end of the show, who are our favorite people on the face of the earth, honestly, that keep the show going, you can do that by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports. You can make donations there or go over to PayPal and use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com, to make a one-time donation. Want to get a hold of the show? That's easy to do. At Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Murder on Instagram, Small Town Pod on Facebook, or you can just make it easy on yourself and do all these things at the website, shutupandgivememurder.com. All the donations, the merch, you can get T-shirts. We have a bunch of new T-shirts up there, so check that out. Lots of fun stuff. Do that, please. And with all that out of the way, without further ado, we got to do the disclaimer, of course. This is a comedy podcast. It's some people don't realize that comedy and true crime can happen together, but they really can. I know it might sound weird, but the way we do it, it really kind of works. I got to be honest with you.
Seems to be.
Seems to be working. It's not, and I'll say this, and it's funny, Jimmy always laughs, and I go, it's not that bad.
It's not.
Because this isn't a disclaimer telling you about the content. It's called Small Town Murder, so expect murder and expect bloody things and shit like that. And I would expect you would expect that. But the disclaimer is to tell you that there's jokes also.
Right.
This is a comedy podcast. We're comedians, and it's insane that we have to do a disclaimer saying, be careful, there's comedy. But we do, because it's the way it is. What we do is we try to not make fun of the victims or of the victim's family, because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
That's right.
That's how we operate over here. So that's what I mean. We're not making fun of dead kids and this and that's not what we do here. No. We have a good time, and we're all in the car now. We're on the way to the liquor store. You're involved.
Buckle up and keep your beers down.
No complaining after this point. I know they made jokes. Well, you know what? You're involved now. So get on board, and you can just shout from the rooftop, shut up and give me murder. And we're going to do it right now.
Yes.
Let's get to it, Jimmy.
Where are we going?
We're going on a trip.
Fantastic.
Oh, baby, on a trip. Are you all you ready to go? You packed
I got
up?
road sodas,
you're ready to rock and roll.
What is this?
All right.
Oh, would you see this?
You got your chargers
Matt
and
Lauer sent me a dildo.
Oh,
that was so kind of him.
I was going to say, Jimmy, it's not like that makes you unique or special. If you get a dildo from Matt Lauer, everybody, it's not special. He just had a mailing list and a pile of dildos to send out, a mountain of dildos in the corner of his office. Absolutely. We're going all the way down to Alabama.
All right.
Our one of our returning down there, which obviously we were very well received last time.
Yeah.
We did Anniston, Alabama,
Terrific.
and their local newspaper got mad at us,
Well,
which
that's
is
what happens when
fucking
you put
hilarious.
PCBs in your water.
That happens, yeah, when you're all a little brain damaged down there from having a water supply that's been poisoned, and you guys just go, fuck it, we'll live here anyway. Sorry, that's what happens, and you're going to get made fun of a little bit.
Right.
And it was good natured too.
Yeah.
We tried. We didn't
kind.
shit on the people. We
No.
were just like, why are they still there? If
Yeah,
there's
that's
shit
really
if there's no drink, why haven't they fixed the water or left? What is happening?
We had questions that we left out there that after an article did not answer.
They didn't
any
answer
of them.
any of
No,
those
none of them.
questions. So, oh well. But we're going to a different part of Alabama this time. Anniston, Alabama. The last town was like up in north central Alabama. Okay. This one's down there. This one's in southwestern Alabama, down by the water.
Yes.
We're going to Irvington, Alabama.
Alabama is on the coast.
It is on the coast. Yeah.
That's right.
Irvington, Alabama. It's in southwestern Alabama, and it's right where Alabama makes a little panhandle.
You betcha.
It's a panhandle. This isn't the Florida panhandle, not even the Texas. This is the Alabama panhandle.
Right.
This is the king of panhandles. It should be called Panhandle.
Right.
That's the fucking state. So this is in the pay. You know this is going to be exciting. Alabama panhandle behavior, baby.
Does
Let's do
Alabama
this shit.
kind of make like the same shape as Georgia? Is Georgia right next to it?
Yeah, Georgia's kind of swollen a little bit, though. Once Alabama's just kind of a straight up and down, kind of a big rectangle box with a panhandle kind of coming down that connects to Mississippi. Yeah, because Georgia wanted to claim some coast, so they're between South Carolina and Florida there. So they're kind of there, and then they jut out toward the coast. Hey, we'll take some of that beach too.
Yeah, Atlanta wasn't enough for you, you selfish fucks.
Nope, God damn it, absolutely not. So
you got the best city in the South.
Yeah, you do, apparently. And we're going to be there, but we can't announce that yet. But we will see you guys in the fall. That's a hint.
Yeah.
Lots of other places, too. End of the month, we'll announce that, though. Lots of stuff coming out. Never mind all that shit, though. This place, southwestern Alabama Panhandle, and just like you'd think it is, it's 20 minutes from Mobile, Alabama, down there, which is kind of the hub of that area for Alabama, and about 4.5 hours to Anniston, the last place we did. So it's a distance to there.
It's a long way away from PCBs.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. These people can drink the water freely, and it it's from what we know.
Right.
We don't know if they might discover they've been poisoning it horribly for years.
Years and years.
Why do all these kids have giant tumors on their heads, all in the same position, coming right out of the top of their head like a cone?
It just grows in the shape of a mullet. It doesn't weird. We don't even shave the sides.
Sales of child's hats in this town go through the roof, though. That's the thing. It's just you can't keep the kids' hat stores empty. People flying off the shelves. Holy shit. So this Mobile County, zip code 36544, area code 251. It's a weird thing because we'll talk about what it is exactly, but it's an area. It's not like a defined little town. It's like a geographic area that's held together by a zip code.
Okay.
We'll talk a little bit about that, but the whole area is about 40 square miles here. But
that's
the town isn't that big, like where people live in a town.
Got extra land for nothing.
Yeah, that counts some out, just swamps and shit like that. That's just in that area.
Beautiful.
That's kind of the geographical area. The town, it's kind of small, so there's no, and they don't really have a town per se. It's just kind of it's a town, but not incorporation-wise, technically. So they're not going to have their own motto, obviously.
Sure.
You got to go to Mobile County for the motto.
Oh, boy.
They're going to have a motto. They're the whole goddamn county. Mobile County motto, quote, "We swear we're nicer to black people now." I mean, stay away from my sister, but otherwise, So they're trying.
Yeah.
That's progress for Alabama.
For sure.
I got to be honest with you. We swear, I mean, let's not get crazy about it, but they're trying is what we're getting at. So that is not really their motto.
We're putting a trademark on the homes.
That's it.
Mobile homes. That's what they are.
Oh man, they'd make some money if they
you
did
bet
that.
They
Holy
would.
shit! Damn it, they missed out.
They did.
Mobile, we can do this. Let's trademark it.
Same spelling.
Once we trademark it, it's ours. That don't matter now. It doesn't matter. History of this town. The great thing is if you look up this town, generally start from the beginning. I'll Google search a town, and all the shit pops up, and you go from there, and you get a little finer with your searches. But right in the beginning, there's always like the town website, the Wikipedia. So you click on the Wikipedia because you want an overview. How big's the town? That sort of shit. What's the zip code? And the picture on the town is usually town square, Sometimes it's the sign.
Sometimes
it's the school. It's the courthouse. It's something
Sometimes
like
it's
that.
Santa.
Could be Santa.
Right.
You never know. It's all these different things. This, though, different.
Yeah.
Unlike any other one we've done in the previous 72 episodes, this just shows a picture of 4 middle-aged men in suits performing gospel songs on a stage.
Why?
Just standing there. That's the town. And the picture says of it, the caption is Gold City performing in Irvington.
Who are they?
It's some gospel band.
Oh.
They're an American Southern gospel quartet based in Gadsden, Alabama.
So they're not even here.
No, fuck no. They don't live there, but they came there once, and they're real proud of it. It was a banner moment.
They took the pride of Gadsden.
Yeah.
Put that shit on our wiki.
Banner moment. Well, I mean, if you look at their discography, Jimmy, as I did, obviously, because I can't help myself.
You have to.
They have been around since 1981.
Oh, that's sad.
They have released, 70 albums, it looks like, 50 albums, like a ridiculous amount of albums.
From what year?
1981.
37 years on this planet.
Oh, God.
And we've never heard of them.
Never heard of these son of a bitches, ever. And they've gone through, I looked it up, all different members go through, in and out.
Of course.
It's like fucking Lynyrd Skynyrd. It's ridiculous, this fucking band. They have some of the year 2000, they released 4 albums.
Jesus.
These people are like post-death Tupac. It's
in
amazing.
1 year.
91, 5 albums.
What?
5. Pumping them out. Some of them were just like, one is Super 70s Gospel Hits, Volumes 1, 2, and 3, things like that. I like their album, Voices of Christmas, Moving Up.
Yeah.
Not the old soul version of Moving Up, I'm sure. I'm sure it's Moving Up to Heaven.
Moving up the list.
Not toward your destination, as we might think. Hymns sung by the Gold City Quartet.
Yeah.
My favorite album, though, that I play nightly.
Did they spell hymns correctly, or did they just spell it H-I-M-S?
No, they got it right.
That would be amazing.
My favorite. This is the one. Well, there's 2. There's 2. 2 I'll be listening to. I'll fight myself on the way out of which one I'm going to listen to. One is Sing Gold Nuggets, which I think sounds pretty cool. And the other one, though, is it's my favorite. I Think I'll Read It Again. That's the name of the album.
That's the name of the album?
Finish that Bible.
They called it?
Think I'll Read It Again, is what they said. That's literally what it is. Like, I like that. It's fucking hilarious. So, yeah, the real gospel, but away from...
Think I'll Read It Again.
We should just make this about the Gold City Quartet. Never mind Irvington, Alabama. Fuck it. Never mind. All this town shit, let's just talk about these guys for 45 minutes. And I'd be okay with that. I don't think the rest of the people would. They'd be like, why are they talking about some gospel band I've never heard about?
And once we get to the end of their bio, think we'll start again. That's what it is.
I think I'll read it again. I'm going to look over at Jimmy and go, I think I'll read it again. And we'll go right back. I'll just scroll back up to the top of my notes.
On
and
the
there
Wiki
we go.
page.
Here we go. Let's talk about their album, because I could read off all their album names and we could make fun of each of them individually. We could get an hour out of that.
They've
That's
done
the sad
37
part.
years. I hope whoever listens to this knows one of these fucks, and in their 40th anniversary gets us to roast them. I would love that.
That would be amazing. I would love that. They'd be so
Just
horrified.
feed us so much information about them.
They know we're a Christian gospel band, right? What are these two talking about?
I think he just cleverly called me a faggot.
I think he just... Did he say I fuck kids? I think he called me a pet. No, that ain't right. No, well...
Pedophile means kid fucker, right? That doesn't mean like walks on 2 feet.
Yeah, that's right, because I heard... You know how I could get that wrong. You
I
understand.
get confused sometimes.
I did drop out of it in the 7th grade, but I figured the Bible education would carry me through. As a matter of fact, I'm confused. I think I'll read it again. Let me get back to it right now. Thank you. All right. So early in the 20th century, this was a farm community, as the South was pretty farm heavy down there. It was the center of the tongue oil business. T-U-N-G, tongue oil business. Does that help you? He said, like now I know. I didn't know before. But
I still don't know, but it sure leads me away from where I was thinking.
Yeah. No,
I was thinking,
that.
is there oil in my tongue?
No, unfortunately. Good for you, actually. No, the Sahara Desert fart fact of the week is actually that Vernicea 40, or Fordil, I can't see if that's a 4D, is known as the tongue tree. It's a species of a tree. It's native to China and Burma and northern Vietnam.
Got it.
It's a tree like that. And
tongue is Asian.
Yeah. What they do is they have oily seeds, and they become ripe in the autumn. It's valued for tongue oil, which they get from the seeds, and that is what it's called wood nut oil or nut oil in China. They used to use it for lamps and shit like that, and now they use it for varnish and caulk and paint and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah.
Nut oil and caulk. There's so many dick jokes, James. This is ridiculous.
Caulk, nut oil, wood was in there also. There's just too much there. You're an embarrassment of riches, Irvington, Alabama, between the Gold City Quartet and this shit. Good Lord. It takes a lot for us to be mature right now. You don't understand. Because
you're an embarrassment to be so overpopulated with the ability for dick jokes.
I'm kind of sad we did all those jokes about the Gold City Quartet, because now we can't do all these dick jokes. Like, we could do 5 minutes of dick jokes, but instead we talked about that, so that's fine. Sorry. You could make all the dick jokes on your own. Tell you what,
right.
Pause this.
Right.
For the next 90 seconds, nothing but dick jokes. Let them fly, everything you can get out of those words all together, and then tweet them at us,
right.
and we're happy
with it.
We'll take it. So it's a fan, listener
appreciation day.
Participation. Right. So down there, this area has been occupied, obviously, because it's by water, so it's been occupied forever.
Sure.
No area by water never had people on it. And it's just where people went. Obviously, it was indigenous people back in the day. The Choctaw tribe was there a lot. Was around there for the most part. They encountered first French traders and colonists came through this way first. That's why everything down south by the Gulf is French, because that's where the French came in. Sure. They had to come in the back door.
You bet. That's how the French do it. They'll come up front.
They will be looking for the New York.
Right.
They will come that way in that area.
They will see us in the Boston.
When they bend over to pick it up, we go in from behind. If you know what I mean.
We go in the butthole.
I am talking about the butthole, yes. Terrible French accents.
Where do the hurricanes go? That's where we will enter. That's not a bright spot. That's not a smart...
We will be there. We will drink. We will have sex while the winds blow across us on the beach. It will be beautiful. Somehow, even in the hurricane force winds, I will be able to light a non-filter cigarette after orgasm on top of stranger woman.
If it is woman, I do
if
not
it is
check.
woman. Honestly, nah, doesn't really matter to me.
Hole.
Once bent over, what's the difference? Butthole is butthole. So... we've established that the French are pirates of any butthole they can find. Doesn't matter. That's what they were doing. They were in search of buttholes in the Gulf. And they instead encountered the Choctaw. The British took over the territory in 1763, and along with a bunch of other French things from that era. They defeated the French in the 7 Years' War, and then during the American Revolutionary War, it became under Spanish rule because Florida was owned by Spain, so they just kind of crept up into there and was like, we'll take all that shit on the water.
Right.
We're on the panhandle, just take it clear across.
The whole damn thing.
That's it right there. So they did that. Spain finally ceded the territory down there to the United States in the War of 1812. So that's when this became official. In the 1830s, a president that we are very familiar with, Andrew Jackson, surprise, did some mean shit to Indians. Shocking. Aren't we all shocked?
He did that down there?
Everywhere. He's just looking, where the fuck are these natives?
Right.
Get them. No, rip their children from their hands, bash them on a rock, and then take the rest of them that way. God damn it. Horrible.
Right.
He forced the removal of most of the Native Americans, and they relocated them to Indian territory west of the Mississippi, and then they ended up in Oklahoma and shitholes like that.
That was
and then
nice
they also ended up getting pushed out toward the East Coast.
Yeah.
They were just pushing people away from where they wanted to be.
That is fucking amazing. Why would you
terrifying.
take that shit area of land from somebody?
It's by the water.
Yeah, but
we're taking
still,
it.
it's ugly as
port.
hell. God,
it's a port,
it's so
baby.
gross.
And I don't care. Port is commerce, goddammit. And if you can take the spices and cotton and shit back to the old country, holy shit, that's going to be worth some money.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
The things they would do for saffron. It's ridiculous.
Saffron, damn it.
Saffron. I'm very sorry about all your families, Native Americans.
Sorry.
Have you had saffron?
It's pretty delicious. They were only wearing wool in Europe. Do you know how hot that is when it's humid out? It's sticky. They don't want to wear wool over there. Right. What are we doing? We need to send them cotton. Come on, it breathes. What are we doing? So the Choctaw, though, they had the last laugh because they reorganized and gained state recognition in the late 20th century, 1979. They got recognized by the state, which allows them to do what? Open casinos.
Oh, you betcha.
They were like, we'll have the last laugh. We'll take every fucking dime of you.
We'll get all your saffron riches.
Yeah, hoping a descendant of Andrew Jackson walks through the door. Get him on a slot machine. So
the problem is they wouldn't notice now because the descendants of Jackson are the people with the last name Jackson are mostly black people.
I was going to say, that's a lot of black people.
Yeah. You wouldn't even realize that you're lifting.
They'd be very confused. Right. Like, hold on a second. Whisper in each other's ears. This is
not right.
Black people drive us and black people didn't. No, they were fucking too. Yeah, they were fucked too. What are we talking about here? No, it's not their fault. What are we doing? So it was Mississippi was admitted to as a state in the Union in 1817, and this used to be part of the Mississippi Territory. Okay. And when Mississippi became a state, part of that was to make a straight line down the state line and give this part to the Alabama Territory. And the state of Alabama was granted statehood in 1819.
That's what it is over there. It's Mississippi.
And to the west is Mississippi.
Right. I thought it was Georgia because I'm stupid. That's what I did.
From east to west, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana.
Got it.
Then Texas.
I'm in.
There you go. We're in, baby. That's good. A lot of people aren't from the U.S. that listen to this. Now they know.
I'm pretty goddamn dumb because this whole time I am from here. That's the thing.
Anyway, so after the U.S. took over the territory after the War of 1812, new settlers started coming, very attracted to the land. They got cotton things going on, and once the cotton gin started going, then they were cooking on the cotton there. There was 9 documented lynchings in Mobile County. Documented lynchings from 1891 to 1981.
What do you think the percentage is that went undocumented?
That's what I'm saying. These are documented from 1891 to now. Although I think a lynching, they kind of wanted everyone to know about it. I think that was kind of the point of it.
I suppose.
Sort of. Yeah. But I guess not. Sometimes they probably just, who knows how shitty people were.
Sometimes they just lynched them just to lynch them.
That's true. But yeah, 1981 is the last
That's far too
documented
recent.
lynching. Yeah. And before that, it was 1919. But there was 1906, there was 3.
Jesus.
1907 was one, 1909 was one, 1910. So shit was getting hot right there. Courthouse caught on fire and burned down several times in this town. 1823, 1840, 1872. Fuck that. Just
whatever they
there.
coat those things with. I think that's what the problem is. That the lumber was coated with like an oil to keep it from decaying. Right. That's exactly what it is.
Very flammable. We forgot to mention that part of it. So there's Mobile, which is kind of like a city, and then there's this place who has no personality and isn't really even incorporated. Yeah. And then near it is Bayou Labater or Labatre, which is a cool town that is like has all this like neat shit that's like they call themselves the seafood capital of Alabama.
All right.
Forrest Gump was like in Forrest Gump. This place they filmed that there. They built in April 2005. Disney built the giant Black Pearl pirate ship for Pirates of the Caribbean and launched it out of that town.
Is that right?
Yes. I mean that's pretty cool for a little town down there. Also, the History Channel's reality show Big Shrimpin' takes place there.
Those bastards.
But they have like something.
How dare you steal from Pimp
That's
C.
terrible. But they have some kind of personality. And then there's Irvington, which is an unincorporated community.
Oh.
That's what it is, which is a settlement that's not governed by its own local municipal corporation. Basically, fuck it, we're lazy. Is there another bigger county? Fuck, you govern us. Right. Just, send your cops. That's fine. We don't need that shit. Just tell us what we need to do because we don't want to organize things. You know, I think that's what it is, paperwork. People are just bad at paperwork.
Listen, shrimp boats are coming in. We don't got
shrimp boats. We got a lot going on right now. Between the shrimp and the tung oil and Jesus, the casinos are opening. It's a lot going on right now. And also, I've attended 4 lynchings this year. I got a lot going on. Very busy down here. People in this town, population, right now it's listed as, obviously, this is by changes daily, so this weird figure that popped up is just luck, but it's 11,111. So
wow.
5 1s across the board.
That's cool.
So that's kind of neat, and who knows what it is today.
It's probably
but
not accurate.
It's not accurate. It's up about 32% since 1990.
Okay.
So people are moving down there.
Yeah.
I think there's some jobs down there, too, because there's shit by the water and
Yeah.
there's stuff going on. Median age down there is about 38 and a half. It's about a year older than normal. So it's kind of on point with the with regular, but there's some young people. There's a lot of old people down there, too. The female population is about 54%.
Yeah.
So that always says that it's a little older town. When there's 10,000 people, so you can get kind of an accurate reading, and there's 54% female, there's probably some old people there.
Yeah.
That's just the way it works usually. Anyway, single population's lower than normal, that sort of thing. Never married is also lower than normal.
Okay.
So people are getting married down there,
They're
goddammit.
sticking around.
They are. More widows than usual, so you're going to get alive women who are older there. More divorce than usual, which more marriage is going to equal more divorce.
How about that?
That makes sense. Married, single with children, or single without children is actually more than normal here, too.
Really?
So there's more people married, but more people are single with no kids.
But then that divorce is high.
And then you'll get divorced.
So that's what it is.
And people are going to croak and drown in the Gulf.
You
and
betcha.
the hurricane's going to take them.
Right.
Things are going to happen. We'll put it that way. Lynchings. It's dangerous down there.
People
Shit's
are gonna
dangerous.
disappear.
People going to disappear. It's going to happen now. Race, that's not funny at all.
No, it's not.
Not at all. That's why it's terrible. Race of this town, it's a southern town, so you're going to get, for the most part, unless it's real tiny, then there's kind of pockets of an all-black town or an all-white town.
It's 75-25,
but when
generally.
White, 75%.
You bet.
That's what it is right there. That's the South.
I love it.
Although black, though, 8.41%.
Oh, that's interesting.
Not a lot of black people. The oddest stat I think I've ever seen here, Asians, 8.21%.
Holy hell.
More than usual, more than normal, and in the
Seafood.
South. Seafood, I guess. Yeah. I guess if they're shrimp, they're gonna find it and make something delicious out of it.
Yeah, they're gonna make some sushi's coming in for sure.
Well, I don't know about sushi, but they're gonna figure out something, I think.
Some flip side lights.
Jesus Christ, ladies and gentlemen. My co-host, Andrew
I didn't
Jackson.
even get it out right.
No, you didn't get it out right. That was the worst.
That was the most flim-flamming,
stereotypical racist joke I've ever heard in my life. That would be like if you
fried
tried
lice you plick. That's
would
where I
be
was
like if
going
you tried
with
to
it.
speak like 70s black jazz, but said it with an English accent. Called me like a honky, but said it English-wise. Or something. Like, huh? What the hell did you just say? But I got where you were going.
Threw in mate at
You
the end
tried
of
to
it.
be racist. We'll put it that way. So,
I was trying to quote "goddamn Lethal Weapon."
I know
That's
what
where I
you're
was
doing.
going.
I know where
and
you're going. But it was
I didn't even get the quote right.
poor representation.
The quote was awful and the delivery was worse.
What are you going to do? Oh, my
All
God.
right.
So, 5% Hispanic down there, way less than normal. About 62% religious down there, which it's the South, so you're going to get that. 8% Catholic, which there's some Hispanic people and things like that. 0.76 LDS. They took that boat right in there, and they're trying to they're penetrating the shoreline. We'll put it that way.
Trying to keep them virgins.
A lot of Baptists down there, obviously, because as we know, Baptists are the Catholics of the North.
You bet.
Other way around.
Right.
Catholics are the Baptists of the North.
Right.
Baptists are the Catholics of the South. Thank you. Jesus Christ, that's confusing. So, 0.24% Jewish. Well, I don't know where the hell they're. That's an interesting.
But it's under
going to
half,
Alabama.
so I'll take it.
It's not a lot. 0.38% Muslim. More than I expect for Alabama. About 45% Democrat. About 54% Republican, which is way. That's more Democrat than the rest of the state is. Which it's down by the coast. Anytime you get near water, people become a little more liberal. I don't know what it is. It's the smell.
They tend to not give a shit.
I don't know what it is. If it's like, well, there's water, I'm happy. So fuck it. I don't know what it is. But
you want abortion? I'm
time.
on the beach having a Corona. Go
Whatever.
get it.
I don't know. That's not a political statement at all. It's just a observation. Unemployment rate here is about 7.5. It's a little higher than normal. Median household income is about $37,000 a year, which is way less than the $54,000 average in the country.
There's something in that, by the way.
There is.
That is fascinating.
If you just look at a map and see what people have voted, you'll see where the blue is, and it's around bodies of water.
Yeah, it's just them going.
It is lakes, big lakes.
But when you go to dinner with
oceans.
somebody in like a beach community, everybody just kind of chips in together. You know what I mean?
It's a weird thing.
It's like, there's 10 of us. Everybody pay 10%. And then one guy's like, I had steak. Fuck them all. I'm winning. And then somebody at the end is like, I just had rice and fish. Why am I paying so much? Whatever. We're all together.
Those damn Asians and their fish. And their tongue oil.
There's a dude that had a steak and 7 beers, and he's like, I paid $8. Fuck it. I'm leaving.
So construction work in this town's more than usual.
Yeah.
Twice as many manufacturing jobs down there. They're making some shit here. Wholesale trade is higher than normal, that sort of thing. Things like, things like that are higher, whereas like finance and blue-white collar shit are lower. Professional type jobs are like a third of the normal. Arts and entertainment, 0.35%.
Ooh.
2 guys, that's the quartet. That's it, the Gold City Quartet. I did find a job. I found a bunch of jobs. There's a ton of jobs as a driver/yard laborer down there. Some of them are like $15 an hour. That's the top I found. And I found one that is $8.75 to $11 an hour.
If you're lucky.
Previous lumberyard experience, a plus. We'll need to load and unload delivery trucks going in and out. Wow.
A plus. So
That
you
sounds
might
rough.
get the job
And you
if
might
you've
get
done
11
this shit
bucks an
before
hour.
for $8.75.
Cost of living in this
Work
town.
your way up to 11.
Good luck. Wow, that's rough. Cost of living in this town, 100 being average and par and normal. Cost of living here is 83. Everything's pretty normal except for housing, which is down at 56. It's very low. Median home cost here, $103,200.
Median.
That's,
Right in the middle.
That's your average deal, which is 185 is the normal in the rest of the country.
So affordable.
That's not bad at all. And if we've convinced you that the only place for you that you could possibly live in the world is Irvington, Alabama, we have for you the Irvington, Alabama Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom apartment down there goes for about $700 a month, which is about $400 less than the national average, so that's not bad.
$8.75 an hour. That's tough to afford.
That's a tough one. Yeah, good luck. You're gonna have to stack a few people into that 2 bedrooms. I've had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,296 foot house here. It's rough.
Yeah.
It needs some fucking work. It looks like this. It's been the sea salt or whatever has stripped this shit bare. It looks like there's meth in there, possibly bodies under the floor. I don't know, something.
It went through Hurricane Katrina's digestive tract.
And then came out its asshole. It's $69,600 anyway.
Okay.
It's affordable. I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,700 square foot house. It's got a dirt yard. It looks like where Sling Blade has a shed in the back. That's what it looks like. Billy Bob Thornton is lurking.
Yeah.
$118,900.
Just sharpening a lawnmower blade.
That's it. I'm getting ready to go. And if you're actually Forrest Gump and your shrimp company is doing very well, I found a 6-bedroom, 9-bath, 9,800 square foot mansion that looks like some crazy old Hollywood producer would own it. $949,109.
$1 million house,
which is cheap for that house, but not in this area.
No.
I would not pay anything for
Never.
that. Things to do. The Christmas festival's a big deal.
You bet.
Oh boy, there's a phone number if you would like your group to participate. It says on this thing under the Christmas festival, here's the phone number. Contact this lady, and then it says kid friendly. I fucking hope so.
Thanks, guys.
It's a goddamn Christmas festival. What are they? I thought people be fucking in the streets. We can take the kids, honey.
That's the disinvitation to Matt Lauer. That's what that is.
I thought Christmas festival was code for orgy, but apparently it's not. Never bring the kids. No, put the lube away and bring the kids.
Get
Lube.
the quartet. Would
Come
you
on,
stop
God
with the
damn it.
fisting?
Stop it.
Jesus, the kids
Christ.
are here.
It's not like those dirty adult-only Christmas festivals they have up north. All them adult-only heathen pagan Christmas festivals that they got there. Merry Christmas to y'all, and y'all a good night. And then they fuck.
That's amazing.
Kid friendly. So keep that in mind.
But by the way, anything that says kid friendly, I'm terrified of
That's what I
whoever
mean.
wrote that.
Why wouldn't it
Right.
be? Yeah, I would have never even
Whoever
thought, never
wrote
crossed
that,
my mind that it wasn't.
What kind of life are you leading?
Oh, Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Crime rate in this town. Fucking ridiculous. So, yeah, we spent 20 minutes on the Christmas party because it's so ridiculous.
That's absurd.
Crime rate, property crime's a little lower than normal. Violent crime's a little higher than normal.
Okay.
So rather than steal your shit, they'd rather kill you. So
Right.
that's
Yeah.
whatever. Let's talk about some people who had some problems in this town.
Okay.
Some issues. Some people didn't have issues, but some people did. Let's talk about a young man who's not from this town, but ended up in this town. Yeah. Let's talk about a man named Jason Oric Williams. Okay. O-R-I-C is his middle name. Yeah. Jason Williams, not
There's no apostrophe?
Nope. No, neither of the basketball players, not the murderous basketball player, or the behind-the-back passing white chocolate basketball player.
Was the most ridiculous, racist nickname ever.
It really was. And his haircut was stupid. His haircut back in the day, he had a haircut like a middle school white kid. Yeah. And he's out there like behind the back passing around fucking, NBA players. It's just wrong.
He's just saying, I'm white Allen Iverson. That's what he did all day.
And I just took Gary Payton to the rack. What the hell is happening right now? Super weird.
I always mix him up with Bobby Hurley anyway.
Yeah, it's easy too. It's easy too.
He's basically just dribbling Bobby Hurley.
Bobby Hurley was like the Catholic school version of him.
Right.
Bobby Hurley looked like the picture of CYO basketball, like back east. If you're from back east, like, hey, they got a league at St. Mary's. You sign up over there. CYO. That's him. He looks like, and his dad was a coach. He looks like that too. Anyway, way off the subject.
He lasted 4 years in the NBA.
Well, yeah, he had a horrible car accident.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, he had a horrible car
that's
accident,
awesome.
I believe, Bobby Hurley, and had to like teach himself to walk again.
Oh my God, I feel so
and
terrible.
I think he ended up coming back after that
Really?
too. Not well, but I think he ended up trying to make a comeback and putting his physical life back together.
Yeah.
He had a horrible accident.
It's interesting that Jason Williams did not have a horrible car accident,
not at all.
And his career lasted about the same.
Yeah,
he didn't stick around very long either,
he
right?
He still plays out there.
Does he?
Yeah, he plays on those old-timer leagues now.
Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, we've talked about that. This is all for Crime and Sports.
Sorry.
So Jason Williams, he goes by Jay. Everybody calls him Jay. His family calls him J-Bug, which I am not calling this man J-Bug, just because he's an adult man and so am I. And not calling you J-Bug. Sorry. That's something your mom calls you or your older sister.
Right. And, I was uncomfortable enough calling Anthony Hardaway Penny.
Penny,
I'm not doing this.
That's kind of silly.
I'm not calling anybody J-Bug.
No, but Anthony will go by Penny. But Jason is easy and fine. Nobody goes Anthony or Anferny. No one does that with Jason. Right. They don't go Jason or Jason. No one does that. So, or Jay Phone.
Right.
So, Jay Williams, he's adopted by his aunt and uncle when he's a very, very small baby.
Yeah.
Okay. He never knew this. His aunt and uncle raise him and do not disclose to him the very important fact that they are indeed not his real parents.
Oh, no.
They just act like they're his parents. There's a weird thing about the mother and father, and it's so strange because in several different sources, there's different stories, but the prevailing story seems to be that his mother and father were related in some way and involved in some kind of, I guess, semi-incestuous relationship.
I don't think there's any way of being semi-incestuous.
I don't know if they're like second cousins or something.
It's either incestuous or it's not.
Well, I mean, by the law, it's like first cousin is incestuous, but beyond that, the world is your oyster. Yeah. Fuck anybody at your family gathering. Knock yourself out. Memorial Day barbecue? Nope. Singles mixer. That's what that is. Get on in there. That's like Tinder with roasted chicken. Tinder with corn on the cob is what you have there.
The problem with the law deciding whether or not it's
there's a lot of problems with that.
You still end up with a fucking a recessive gene that pops up from time to time.
It's going to happen. So there was some rumors of incestuousness between the parents. Okay. We don't know exactly how close they were related or even if this is true, but apparently the family had frowned upon this. I'm not sure which family or if it was all the same. I'm not sure. This is the South and this is Mississippi, and I'm fighting to not have a lot of stereotypical jokes. This is harder for me than dick jokes. You'd have no idea. An incestuous Mississippi relationship that ended up getting adopted by the aunt and uncle living at their house. They didn't tell him that he was kin, but he ain't really the biological. Too much for me. Not that this doesn't happen everywhere, but unfortunately for the South, this is a stereotype of cousin fucking that you have fallen into here in this particular episode.
You have a cousin fucking that results in a product of that is a baby that is now being cared for by somebody else in his family, making it even weirder. brother.
His aunt and uncle, which is super strange. And apparently his uncle, he says, and other people from back in the day there said that and this is the 70s in the South, and, whatever, that the husband, his uncle, would beat him pretty severely.
Well, yeah, you don't want that kid.
He would beat him, and again. If someone who grows up back in the day in the 70s or any time before, really last week probably, because even 5 years ago, the whole Adrian Peterson thing, people were like, well, sometimes you got to hit your kid with a stick. And it's like, what the fuck is going on down there? I'm not from the South. I get it's a different culture. Yeah. There was a debate. I remember you'd watch a sports show when Adrian Peterson was a football player, in case you don't know, who got in a little bit of trouble because he whipped his what was the kid, 6 or some shit?
I think he was 6. I think he was 5.
5-year-old son.
He may have been 3.
With a tree branch.
He was younger than 8.
He beat this kid pretty bad with a tree branch, and it wasn't like known as a severe beating. It was just like he told him to pick a switch, and he whipped his ass, and it was like the mother freaked out about it and called the authorities, and he was like suspended from the league for a minute in the NFL.
He's still got a lot of shit to pay for.
He gets a lot of heat over that, but I see a lot of people with Adrian Peterson jerseys on when he came to the Cardinals walking around town. They didn't give a fuck about him beating his kid with a stick.
He can still run.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I mean. But there'd be shows where they would talk about it, and there'd be a panel of 6 guys, and 3 of the guys would be like black athletes that were from the South, or white athletes that were from the South.
Charles Barkley's one of them.
Yeah, Barkley, Keyshawn Johnson, a bunch of these guys, and they'd be like, my dad whooped me. He's like, it kept me in line, and I don't see anything wrong with it.
I'm sure thankful for it.
And they were on national TV saying that. Like, I think this is fine.
That is so reckless.
So to this day, there's a debate, like it's regional a lot of times over how much corporal punishment. I was trying to be child abuse is acceptable.
How much can you beat the shit out of your kid before you go to jail?
I was going to say, without it being a legal matter. How close of a family member can you fuck, and how much can you beat your kid? That's what's wrong with the South, because they've had to parse those things out.
It's crazy.
So I don't know. So let people beat their kids everywhere, but we're just saying it's debated as a bad. Like in the North, you hide it. In the South, you'll beat your kid in the front yard and be like, he deserved a whooping, and your neighbors are like, goddamn straight, and everybody goes back in their house apparently.
But on the flip side of the coin, there's kids that beat the shit out of their parents.
Oh God, yeah,
and then,
it's horrible.
And then the people that beat their kids are like, my kid never punched me.
Yeah, that's right.
Guess who knows? Guess who knows that shit hurts?
Yeah. So for it to be brought up as an issue, it had to be severe beatings, is what I'm getting at. A 70s Mississippi beating had to be a severe beating to warrant being placed in a children's home in Mississippi.
Wow.
To actually being pulled from the home for a period of time.
And now back to the show.
Really had to be some severe abuse, but the worst part is they put him in a home where he suffers worse abuse,
of course,
where he's then beaten regularly and also sexually abused now. So that's introduced into his life as well. So that's never good.
If you're fostering kids and you're hurting them, kill yourself, please. Just do it.
And this wasn't a foster home. This was a home. This was like a
like a state funded.
This
home?
is like this is a children's home, either state or worse, religiously funded. And those are even fucking worse because they won't even acknowledge sexual abuse because God forbid the Lord didn't tell them to. So it's a totally different fucking thing. At least at the state level, for the most part, if
there's somebody held responsible.
If fucking Rachel, who works there, finds out Bill is diddling the kid, she's going to go tell on Bill because they both work for the state. They don't work for a religious
organization. She doesn't want to lose her pension and be caught up in this too.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. They're not in a club at that point. God damn, we're getting off the subject. So he grows up in poverty also. He comes in and out of this home. He grows up, they're poor. He's not a good student at all in school, which I can understand if you're being, beaten and sexually abused.
Elsewhere?
You never know. Anger, thoughts elsewhere, revenge fantasies. Who knows?
Nursing a strained elbow.
Yeah, exactly.
Nursing a black eye.
And all this, too. He still has no idea that he's adopted, even. He thinks these are his parents. This isn't my uncle beat me up. This is my dad is treating me like this. So,
this is so familiar to me.
It's almost worse. If you knew it was your uncle, you'd say like, okay, I'm not their son, so it's logical why he's doing this. They don't want me here. But if it's your father, That's like a totally different thing. It's different.
It's an entire different rejection.
It's a different rejection. That's exactly what I was getting at, is the rejection end of it is like, if your uncle, fuck him, but your dad's not supposed to reject you like that in your head.
Sure.
So he always felt that he was snubbed by his family because of where he came from, his origins, and also by his peers because he was poor, wasn't really good socially, and was poor academically, and kids are dicks, and we all know
God, Jesus.
We all know that kid, man. We all knew that kid in school, and we can look back on it now, and we all go, fuck, I wish I was nicer to that kid, because I know what kind of problems he was having.
Yeah.
Way worse than most. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody has that kid that they think
There
about.
was a kid that had the same last name as me in school.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that bizarre?
That is weird.
Same last name as me.
Interesting.
And he kind of looked like me.
Oh, no.
Which was even weirder. But he was like,
that people thought you were related, I assume.
Yeah, everybody did.
Yeah.
Somehow so much poorer and clearly not good at home. And I feel so bad because I was such a dick to him.
I bet. Well, the same last name. There's a lot of kids like that I feel bad about in school that people were assholes to. I'm sure I was an asshole too. And you're like, God damn it.
Kicked my ass twice too.
Did he really?
He did.
Well, maybe that's okay then. You were being a dick to him.
Well, that's why I was
revenge.
a dick to him, was because he was just a dick
all
to
right.
me.
Well, you gotta tell all the layers.
He
of
was
the
a tough
story.
little fucker.
You
That's
can't
what he
go
was.
into it and act like he was this abused guy that you were kicking down even more. Meanwhile, you said so. He turned around and punched you in the mouth. I think it's a different story at that point.
But it was an unfair fight because I'm pretty sure he was getting trained at home by getting the shit knocked out of him.
That's true. He was getting beat. Your dad wasn't around. His dad stuck around to beat the shit out of him.
I was getting it at home too, but it was more like just being called a faggot and stuff.
Yeah, that
sort
of stuff. Yeah, I get it. I get how that works. Yeah. So he's having problems.
Yeah.
Things get worse for old Jay Williams. He turns 17 years old, and he wants to work.
Yeah.
He wants to get a job. He needs some extra money. Problem is he doesn't have an ID, and to work, you need to have an ID.
Sure.
So he said, sure, let me go to the state and get my ID, get my identification documents so I can work. As that goes on, they find out, and it gets uncovered that he's adopted.
Oh, God.
That's his aunt and uncle. Those aren't his real parents. The people who he thought were like distant relatives are actually his mom and dad, who don't have anything to do with him ever, and his mom, and she's adopted. Imagine that. I mean, that's a rough thing for anybody to go through, I would imagine, at 17. At 17, I guess by that point you think maybe it's better than if there's 7, but I think by 7 maybe you can process it a little easier.
Probably. At least you get to know who you are and grow into...
Kids are resilient.
Right.
It's one of those things.
Right.
Like if there's tragedy, you don't get over it when it happens later.
Right.
I mean, it does fuck you up also when you're a kid forever, but adults, it's when tragedy happens,
And you have the ability to repress those
That's
emotions
the other thing.
and
get
thoughts
in there
and memories.
And you just
but
shove
at
it right
17,
down.
you're just like, no, I've got to process this shit forever.
What I have to do is act it out.
Right.
I have to act out my anger, and to do that, I am going to drink and do as many drugs as I can get my hands on. Not me, but this particular gentleman.
And that's probably the healthier way in terms of, at least he's not lashing out publicly. You know what I mean?
Publicly, he didn't try to kill himself.
Ted Bundy, that's exactly what happened to that fucking guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And he couldn't function at all because he just didn't know where he came from.
Well, this guy really didn't function unless he was on something.
Really?
He had a lot of that was his problem, is he would zombify himself basically and go about the world.
Well, I won't say that's healthy.
That's not that healthy. A couple of beers with your buddies, and you can blow off some steam and talk some shit, and they, talk you down a little. Yeah, that's kind of whatever. Right. That's a healthy for a 17-year-old to do to get anger out rather than lashing out. He instead started drinking heavily, started doing a bunch of acid. So LSD, you mix that in there. Yeah. Fragile psyche and LSD don't mix, folks. That is not small-town murder-approved behavior. Only if you are excessively sane, really have your shit together, are mentally strong, and have lots of toys to play with should you do acid.
And can find the difference between fantasy and reality.
Once you're doing acid, you don't know about that. But that's a whole other issue. But you need what'll happen is you'll demature.
Yeah.
If you're on acid, you're like, I'm 7 again.
Right.
Now, if you are very immature anyway, you might get to 4, and that's when you'll walk off a roof. Whereas at 7, you're like, that's dangerous. I think it's just that.
Find a bearded man in the desert that tells you to go chop up and butcher people in the house.
That's what happens.
That don't even belong to any clique.
No,
like he didn't even. They weren't the people that were there. Weren't. I'm talking about Manson. Obviously. The people that were there weren't even the people he was mad at anyway.
No.
They had already moved out and pushed on.
Long gone. It's like, that'll do. Fuck it. That's just a butchery of that'll do. That's too much. I think I'll read it again. Fuck it. You guys go in there. I think I'm going to read it again. So,
at the LaBianca house, we'll read it again.
We'll read it again. Jesus Christ. Well, I'm glad we were able to put a new spin on Manson this week. I didn't think that was going to happen with an Alabama murder. But
holy fuck.
It's not even the acid that's the bad part. Yes, acid will fuck up your psyche if your psyche is fragile, but acid's not something you can do every day. It's just not something you do every day.
No.
It won't work the same.
You don't come back.
You have to increase your dosages, and before you know it, you're taking a sheet of acid to be. That's not good for you. So you do that once in a while, and he, filled in the gaps with weed, ecstasy, prescription drugs as much as he could get, and of course, a lot of crack.
Yeah.
You got to smoke crack, Jimmy, if you're going to get that. So he had to get. I see a nice balance anyway. He balanced it out very nicely between his crack and his. You got to hallucinate a little, and you got to be like, oh, I was lazy for a couple days. I better smoke some crack and do my chores.
I mean, the police have like a periodic table of what these things do to you, and he's just coloring them all in.
Oh, fuck it. He's in the middle, just looking up, red-eyed with his hair sticking
like
up.
A Venn diagram, like where everything overlaps. It's just
him.
a psycho's face.
So somehow in 1990, he finds a woman to marry him, which is fucking impressive, honestly.
What's she on?
That's the thing. I mean, how damaged must another person be?
Truly.
Because he's a damaged human being, clearly. And his drug use is not subsiding, and he's a mess. Then again, also, you have some people who like to fix people, so you have that. If you get a codependent with an addict, boy... You got yourself a match made in heaven right there.
When you get JB Weld, when you got broken glasses, you got to get the one tube and then the other tube and mix them together.
Yeah, this oxyacetylene thing. And the two got to
One doesn't do it.
No,
you got to have the other one
oxygen
to really fuck it up.
That way the fire will come. That's what it is.
Right.
So I don't know if it's true, but for the most part, I see probably a woman who would like him would be someone who came from a shitty family, probably with an alcoholic mother and father, and is very codependent. And she's like, I can fix him. I'll knock that crack pipe out of his hand. No problem. Either that or he completely kept that under wraps from her and hid it from her. But even then, it's going on, and I bet you she has a fucked up past.
You bet.
Okay, so it's Sandra Elzy is her name that he marries. 1990, same year, they're married. Still in the honeymoon period. It's the first year of marriage. He tries to kill himself
already.
So that'll put a damper on things right there.
How do you get to there?
You're talking about your hopes and your dreams and your aspirations, and someday, what are you, kids? Do you want kids? I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I just see a little guy, a little son or some little girl.
Or maybe she was like, what have I done? She wants kids. Fuck it. I'm out of here.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know, man. Someday I just want to retire, like to the beach, you know what I mean? Kind of live out there. Or I'm going to go kill myself. Just, I don't know. Like, it seems odd to start a long journey like marriage and then be like, fuck it, going to kill myself.
Yeah. It's usually like on the downhill.
It's
like she leaves,
my
and
life
then you're
is
like,
over.
fuck it.
Yeah, now I'm going to kill myself.
It's very rare that you're like on the upswing. That you're like, I got a job, I got a wife, fuck it, it's over.
It's very strange. This, as you might imagine, in addition to his drug use and that sort of thing, puts a strain on their marriage, as it might, as you would think. They remain married for about 10 months, and then they get divorced.
My goodness.
So it didn't take long for her to actually file the paperwork and actually physically get divorced from him. Not just an Alabama divorce, as we've called it. I moved out.
Right.
I guess we're done now.
Done.
I moved out. I'm calling myself my other last name, even though it's still on my license. The other one, license is suspended anyway, so that don't matter. I got 2 DUIs last year. It ain't no good, but still.
When it's suspended and that don't work no more, I just keep my whole name.
More like not even regional. That's just a economical, a poor person divorce is, I moved out.
Can't afford it.
Can't afford it. So
it's either the rent or the goddamn paperwork.
Or the paperwork. That's it. So on a few occasions, and it's not a shock that they got divorced, because in addition to suicide attempts and drug use and that sort of thing, on multiple occasions, William slapped her in the face. Sandra pulled her hair, and one time even hit her so hard that he broke her glasses.
Jesus.
So he's getting violent with her as well. So you could expect her to maybe want to get away, which is a good sign that maybe she is not fucked up, and maybe he did hide it from her because she's normally, she's not that codependent where she's going to take that shit. She has a line that she's going to draw. Suicide attempts and physical abuse. Have a good one, asshole. I'm filing the paperwork.
Cost me a new pair of Ray-Bans. Strike 3.
Yeah. So that's one in the column of maybe she's not a codependent, person who has problems herself, but. Another in the other column would be that even after they were divorced, she let him move back into her house.
What's she doing?
I have no goddamn idea. She let him continue. This goes for like a year.
Yeah.
They still live together, even though she actually paperwork divorced him. Did a real divorce, a first world divorce on this guy. Then in January of 1992, Sandra Elzy discovers needles in her home.
Not sewing needles.
Not sewing needles. Syringes.
He's not a seamstress all of a sudden.
Yeah, she's like, pretty sure he's not a diabetic last time I checked. He just loves Bosco. So I'm going to go ahead and say that he's not a diabetic.
Yeah.
Eats devil dogs by the handful, coffee cakes. I'm going to say this is something else.
I'm going with heroin.
Going with drugs.
Yeah.
So turns out that she also, in addition to the needles, she finds out that she has some sort of weird sleeping problem, and she has these tranquilizers that are prescribed for her by the doctor.
Okay.
She finds out that he's also been stealing her tranquilizers.
Oh, Jesus.
He's been like filling her prescriptions and getting like a secret stash of his own of her tranquilizers and shooting up God knows what.
What if he's melting those down and then shooting those?
That's possible. Who the fuck knows what he's doing? Could be doing that, or he could be doing anything, really. I mean, this guy, it's really the sky's the limit with this guy. He'll do pretty much whatever he can do.
Sure.
So she then asks him to leave. I'm sure that was very polite. I'm going to have to ask you to leave, sir. I'm sure it was like that. Or she's like, you stole my shit, and there's fucking throwing needles at him. Get the fuck out of my goddamn trailer. I assume it's a trailer.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, I know how it goes. So once she discovers his, his predilection for raiding the medicine cabinet, we'll say, she asks him to leave, like we said, and when he's finally forced to move out, because he drags his feet a little bit about that. Well, I have places to go, and there's a
Make A75. This front-loading yard work shit it's tough.
The middle of the month, there's really nowhere to go. You gotta wait till the first. You know how it is. Finally, he moves out, and he moves in with Gerald and Claire Paravicini. They'd known Williams in this area for about 8 years. And this is when they were in Alabama now. They've known him for about 8 years, and they allowed him to move into their home with it's Gerald and Claire's son, Jeffrey. So he moves in there. This is in 1992. He hangs out there. He's living there for a couple weeks. But after this, he's living there for about 2 weeks with the Paravicinis. And the whole time, though, he's trying to reconcile with Sandra Elzy.
He wants to move back.
She's already legally divorced you, number one. That's a pretty good sign.
Yeah.
I mean, paperwork is where it really becomes...
where it lies.
Yeah, I don't know if we should be together. I don't know how I feel right now. My life is about whatever. Those are all ideas.
Yeah.
An actual with a stamp from a court on it.
It's notarized.
That's a big deal, I think. So that's a good sign. And then she catches you with all these drugs after she still lets you live in the fucking house and all that. You're stealing from her. She's a pretty understanding woman, and he's trying to really push the limits of that. And somehow, I don't know how, he must be a great salesman. Whatever this horror that raised him made him a terrific salesman, and he could have done very, very well for himself because somehow he talks her into reuniting with him and that they're going to move back in together.
Wow.
How the shit did he talk her into that? Like, that's amazing.
So she kicked him out. And then he went back.
She divorced him, kicked him out, then he moved back, lived there for a while.
Right.
Drugs, kick out. 2 weeks in someone else's house. Okay, come on back. Let's get back together. Wow.
That's one for the fucked up column, right?
Salesmanship, right? Yeah, that's codependence there. Bet. But she's trying, though. Yeah. She has the right idea, but then she gets talked back into it. And like I said, I don't know what kind of salesman this guy was, but it must have been impressive, his sales strategy and technique. So it's going to be Valentine's Day, February the 14th, 1992, is when they are going to have a date.
Yeah.
This is like the big reunification date right here. Boy, they're going to get back together. They're
culminates here.
It all culminates here. They're going to have a romantic night on Valentine's night. They're going to go out together. They're going to go home together, back to her home, which is now going to be their home again, and they're going to start a life. They're going to have 3 small children very shortly, have paintings of them commissioned where they're sitting in front of the fire reading stories at Christmas to the children. I feel like
I like it.
That's their future in the next 10 years.
Start with those little hearts with words on them.
I really feel like that, definitely.
Bought from a Mexican on the side of the road.
Either that or, on the counter at 7-Eleven as an afterthought.
Fellas, don't you dare. That's the life lesson I'm going to give you right now. I don't care if you come home and say, baby, I forgot. That is still better than picking up one of those fucking wrapped, like that
those
thing is just
terrible buckets of roses that people have on the side of the road.
It's like a cellophane wrap around a basket with like
Not
a bear.
good.
That's just a vehicle to get bed bugs into your house. That's what that thing is.
Enjoy.
Don't buy that shit.
She's not going to like it. Nothing from there. Don't buy things for your wife or girlfriend for a holiday from the side of the road. Let's just say that. And anything, we'll say.
That's just...
It goes for anything.
It's better. You're better off saying, I've been too busy paying all these goddamn bills.
That's what it is. So these two, February 14th, the big night. They arranged to their date. They go to a club. Go out to a club. They have a few drinks there. Look at that. So that's a good thing. That's what she wants. Afterwards, they go buy some sandwiches at a deli.
That's
which is an odd thing.
It's a weird middle.
But I feel like it's one of those, we ate early, we went out, we had a few drinks, now we're hungry, you want a sandwich.
Hey, maybe salami's her favorite.
I get that activity.
Maybe he's throwing some puns in there. I'll get you this hard salami later on. You'll have more hard salami.
No shit.
I see what's going on.
And this is like 10:30 at night. There's not a night at 10:30 when I don't want a sandwich. So I get this desire for a sandwich. So they buy the sandwiches, they eat the sandwiches. About 11 p.m., Sandra is ready to go home. She wants to go home. She's like, okay, let's call it a night. I'm tired. Let's go back. She probably wants to, hit
the hard salami.
Hey, hit that, and they're going to reunite. This is reconciliation night. He, on the other hand, though, this is how stupid he is. All of this, you've gone through all this, and somehow you've talked this woman into letting you back into your life. And all you have to do is go out, show her a good time, take her home to her house, and start your life. He cannot do that.
He cannot be J-Bug.
He can't. He says... No, you head home alone. I don't want to go out yet. I don't want to go home yet. I have more shit to do. I need to party more.
Oh, boy.
So that's the balls on this fucking guy, number one.
I'm impressed.
The sack on him so far. So he says, you go home, drop me off at another club, the Top Gun Club it's called, which 1992. And who knows, it's Alabama. It might have just came out down there.
It just found out.
Might be 5-6 years late down there when movies come out. You see that Top Gun? That's a good movie.
There's a tiny guy. He's a pilot.
Good. Yeah, that's good. I hear in the future he's going to play a race car driver, but that's like 7-8 years from now. That's going to happen. So that sort of thing here. So she said, okay, and this is how nice she is. She agrees to this. Not only agrees to it, doesn't say fuck you and just drop him off and peel out and spit and gravel at him, which is what she should have done. She says, cool, when you're ready to come home, call me. I will get up out of my bed, get into my car, and come pick you up to make sure you get home safely and, not drink and drive or not to get a bad ride home. What a nice person or a codependent person who you feel bad for.
Pretty fucking sweet favor.
Pretty sweet. And this guy should just, should really hang on to this person and do whatever she needs to get done and never let her go.
He should be saying,
no one else
never
is gonna
mind,
do this.
Let's go back to your place and I'll go down on you for the next 3 hours.
Yeah, because holy shit, that's the nicest thing. You are actually not only going to let me do it, you're going to pick me up afterwards. Wow. He instead goes out to the club. What do you think? He has like 2 drinks and then calls her up and he's like, I miss you, baby. I had the 2 drinks, but it's not without you. It's not the same.
Right.
This is not the same without you. With Valentine's, there's all these couples around. It's romantic. And you know what, baby? I just need to be with you. Come get me now. Right. You know what? I'll start walking and meet you on the road because I can't even wait here. Right. That's how much my heart desires you and my body calls for you that I'm going to just magnetically come to you.
And before he hung up the phone, she was already there.
In the car. She's in the car.
Let him just
I'm
say
coming,
all that
baby.
shit.
And he just heard a screen door shut and a car start up, and that's all it was. He heard slam and then a car start up and peel out of the driveway.
And he just kept professing his love.
That's it.
At
He's
the
like,
end of that
she gonna
phone
hear
booth. Right.
No. Instead, He gets to the club, immediately purchases some LSD from some fella in the bathroom.
Oh, boy.
So that's nice. That's what you want to do. You want to find the nearest random stranger who claims to have hallucinogenic drugs at the bar you go to and immediately buy them from him in a sleazy bathroom.
Right.
He buys...
some guy named Pills with a Z.
Yeah, you know Pills, right? He buys... LSD, a bunch of prescription drugs as well, including what we think is possibly some ecstasy and some other shit. He's got a handful of pills and some acid.
And threw it back.
Just good enough for me.
Oh, boy.
Also, in addition to all this, drank a large amount of liquor. So you want to get good and tanked and get everything. This is what I mean. He was just like, I'm going to stuff everything into my body that I can.
Oh, my God.
Whatever I can reach at, I'm just going to.
This is not a positive way to set up Valentine's Day.
I would say not. Just having your trolling net out for any illicit drugs you can find at the club while your girlfriend is in there.
So
not terrific.
He just passed around the collection plate. Like,
that's it.
He's been to church once or twice.
So he's messed up.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously. The first mistake was obviously letting her go and you staying out. Then, rather than just having a couple drinks, calling her, you instead get LSD and prescription drugs and a whole lot of liquor. But you can still salvage it.
Yeah.
Call her up.
Yeah.
It's late. It's okay, though. You're really fucked up.
Right.
You didn't mean to get this fucked up. You apologize profusely, and you goddamn hope she forgives you at this point.
Something in that sandwich.
That's it. He, on the other hand, did not do that. He meets up with some friends and decide, well, shit, the bar's closing, but the night doesn't have to end.
I've already ruined it.
I know something that never closes, and that's the crack house.
What?
Let's go to the crack house.
Williams heads to the crack den.
We're going to the crack house.
Oh, boy.
Loading it up in the car. They go to a crack house, and they smoke crack all night long together for the rest of the night.
Okay.
So now he's had acid, prescription drugs, possibly LSD, or possibly ecstasy that he says, large amount of liquor, and he smoked a bunch of crack.
That's a hell of a night.
That's a hell of a night, but I will say the crack will bring you down from all that other shit. You'll be all hyper on crack, but it'll take
you and level you down.
Crack's one of those highs I feel like that'll take over. It's like it's gonna trump other highs. Because people do coke to trump liquor.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know what trumps acid. Acid's one of those things that you can't fuck it. It's going to take its course, and just you be patient.
You need some crocodile to level it out.
Apparently, maybe crack does it. I'm not sure.
Bath salts.
So, not sure. So, according to him, he drank all this liquor, all this. He did all this. He believes he took the pills between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. And that's right before he went and smoked a bunch of crack. So he took a bunch of pills, went, smoked a bunch of crack after that. Now, early the next morning, his friends, one of his friends, this is nice friends, they take you to a crack house, and then they don't even drop you off at home. They dropped him off at a corner store a half mile from the trailer that he lives in.
They had enough of this dude.
Couldn't even, like, the store is, just get out, all right? Yeah, you need cigarettes. Go. Get the fuck out of here. So they drop him off.
Here's some money for a Dr. Pepper. Get
God
out.
Damn it. Get out of my fucking car.
Well, he smoked all that crack. He probably won't shut the fuck up.
Oh, God. He's so goddamn
just
annoying.
Yammering.
Right? Just crack. That's going to be annoying in a car. And then again, they're all smoking crack all night. So that car would have just been a cacophony of dumb ideas and bad future business plans and shit like that. You know what I mean?
I really think we should get a roll of cellophane. We can go to a crane machine and just load up on bears.
We can
make a Valentine's Day corner store.
I think we could do it.
We can make so much crack money,
we
you guys.
can pull it off, guys. The crack we're going to be smoking tomorrow, now that's going to be something, I'll tell you right now.
Just pull over here and kick him out.
Oh, my God. So they drop him off. He then walks a half mile home to the Paravicini's trailer. Doesn't go to her house. He knows better. He's like, just take me to the trailer.
I still smell like crack.
She's definitely going to be mad at me, considering I didn't call her at all.
Right.
Just didn't call her, and it's daylight now. So
it is now 9 a.m.
This is a problem. This is going to be a problem. So it's 6 a.m. He arrives at the home. So, it's still dark out because it's February.
Okay.
So it's probably still dark out 6 a.m. So he arrives home. He gets there. He knocks. He doesn't knock on the front door. For some reason, he doesn't have a key. I guess probably because he's only lived there for 2 weeks. Then he said, move him back in with her now. So he doesn't need a key at this point.
Also, this is probably par for the course behavior-wise.
Yeah.
Panhandle behavior.
This is panhandle behavior.
He probably
Big time.
came home at 6 a.m. a lot. And they were like, no key for you.
Just no key for you. Instead, he knocks on the window and on the side of the trailer. You know your house is shit when you don't even need to knock on a door or a window. You can just knock on the actual house and people fucking hear you inside.
And they start stirring.
And they know that you're needing to come in. Right. That's when your house sucks. When just knock on the side of the house and it's like clang, 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 clang. Oh, okay. So anyway,
somebody's here.
He knocks on the teenage son, Jeffrey. He knocks on his window and door because he'll be the least pissed. He's a teenager. He won't care. He'll cover for him.
He's up tugging already.
He's
anyway.
up tugging. So Jeffrey gets up and lets him in the house, lets him in the trailer, excuse me, and lets him in the home, let's say.
In the domicile.
In the domicile. And
in the dwelling.
You know how it goes. Into our humble abode.
Right, into the indoors.
So, lets him in, and Jeffrey asks him about what his plans are for the day.
Yeah.
What you doing today? What you up to? And I would be like, well, I'm sleeping off this crack binge I went on, number one. Damn, it was a big one.
Yeah.
Instead, Williams tells Jeffrey that he has a, quote, side job to do. Okay. I don't know if he has a front job or a back job, but now he's got a side job. I don't know if he has a regular job. If you don't have a regular job, any job you do is not a side job. That's just a job.
That's just your job.
That's a job that you're doing at that point. So he has a side job to do for whatever the fuck that is. So Jeffrey was like, all right, whatever. I mean, that's adult shit. I don't know. Side job, none of my fucking business.
I heard job. He's got things to do.
Whatever. That's adult shit. I'm going back to video games and tugging. So he tugging to video games, which is another. I don't know if you can do those at the same time. That's talent. So Jeffrey,
Chun-Li was hot.
Yeah, well, you got a good point there. Yeah, but you need both. You're going to need both hands to put those codes in to do that kick, though. Is the problem? You can't do that with one hand. There's ups and downs mixed into that shit.
You kind of grind the remote against it.
If you could play it like that blind guy played guitar in Roadhouse, just on his lap, maybe with one hand. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing.
Like you're reading Braille.
Yeah, you know how it goes. So Jeffrey here, I mean, he's a teenager, but still, he can tell if people seem fucked up or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man, something was wrong with him.
Right.
He says that Williams appeared normal. He didn't appear to be drunk at the time. He's seen Williams drunk, and he knows what he's like when he's drunk because everybody says that when he's drunk, he tilts his head to the side for some reason all the time and slurs his speech. Like as soon as he gets drunk, he's a slur.
Okay.
So you know when he's drunk or when he's not drunk. And Jeffrey said he wasn't tilting his head, nor was he slurring his speech. He was fine.
I love when people have a tell.
They have a total tell, yeah. Well, slurring your speech is a pretty good tell.
Yeah.
It's not like he scratches his forehead more, 3 times a minute. Right. He's like, what's going on here? And they're like, I think he's drunk.
Bedpuddle would pooch her lips out like an asshole. Like it looked like she had an anus right below her nose.
That meant she's drunk?
Right. She just pooch him out. Like in the middle of the conversation, she'd be like, where are we going? Like, what do you stop Christ. That? What do you do? And then it would be all slurred too.
Almost like she's stopping throwing up in her mouth like that.
Choking it
Where
back.
Where are we going? Do you have a mint?
And then her other toe would be pissing the bed.
Well, that's a good one. Oh, she pissed the bed. She got me.
She's definitely drunk. My uncle's was, he would be completely fucking normal because he was an alcoholic, like a functioning alcoholic.
Yeah.
But he would be perfectly fine and then all of a sudden fucking pass out.
Wow.
Just like narcolepsy. We'd be working on his car. He'd be lying.
How much alcohol does this take?
Dude, 30 pack.
Oh, so this is like deep into it.
Yeah,
okay.
He'd be so
alcoholism
hammered.
is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Alcoholism into blacking out. Is what we're gonna, okay, just
alcohol
check it.
Into that's how he would get
this
to
isn't
sleep.
Just fun times. No. This is a sad man falling asleep in his garage.
And now deceased.
Blacking out. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I probably didn't have to say that part.
We get it. Yeah, at this point.
We'd be working on a car, hands up with wrench and socket wrench in his hand. And then he'd be like, go get that screwdriver. I go get the screwdriver. Hands up. Like,
just out cold?
Yeah, out. Done. Like the police told him, put your hands up. Drop
Jesus
what's
Christ.
in them. Hands empty. Fucking wrenches behind his head. Like out on a creepy crawler.
People get knocked out on World Star. Like one of those things.
Guarantee his arms are asleep. Like
Christ, man.
More asleep than he is.
That's terrible.
If he was alert, his hands were tingling. Like
oh my
drunk.
God! He woke up. Why are my arms tingling?
My arms hurt.
Something's wrong. So Williams here. He gets in and he goes to his little area here and he calls LZ on a cordless telephone. That's what he does. Calls
the wife.
Sandra up. That's his first thing here because he's like, I better fix this.
Yeah.
And he thought it'd be safer probably to do it over the phone than to just show up.
Right.
And, get things thrown at him
in case
like
she
last
star
time.
69's it.
Yeah. So Sandra, shocker, is super upset with him because she wanted him to return to her home because they'd planned to, start their fucking life together, and this was the beginning of it, and he fucked it all up. She also, Sandra, who has seen him very, very fucked up very, very often, said that she did not believe over the phone from hearing him that he was intoxicated. He didn't sound drunk at all. Once again, if you smoke a bunch of crack, that'll take the edge off the drinking.
Also, it's been 7 hours,
That's the other thing. He probably stopped drinking at 3 o'clock in the morning, so it's been about 3 hours, and in that 3 hours, he smoked a ton of crack.
Right.
So, but he also took pills, and who the fuck knows? So she doesn't think he's messed up, though, which pisses her off because she probably thought he was with another girl or something at that point.
Right.
If he's out so drunk he doesn't know what he's doing, that's one thing. But if he comes 6 o'clock in the morning and he's calling her up sober, she's like, where the fuck were you?
Right.
What's happening? I expected you to be sloshed right now.
Right.
So Jeffrey watched as Jason paces back and forth talking to Sandra on the phone. And he says he just doesn't slow down. He's just pacing and pacing and pacing back and forth like a guy who smoked a bunch of crack and is upset and irritated and aggravated about something. So now, this is what Sandra Elsie heard on the phone. Okay, this is from her end. This is her quote on this. She says, quote, all right, and pretty soon, I hear they live in a trailer and the doors are so small and they're cheaply built. What sounded to me on the phone, it sounded kind of like two fat people who are trying to get out of the door, and they kind of sound like they bumped and hit the wall, and it was kind of a sound like that. Okay, number one. Let's process that for a second. First of all, I hear they live in a trailer, and the doors are so small and cheaply built.
Oh, highfalutin Sandra living in a house.
You with your doors with stuff in them. You with your walls with wood in them and shit. Man.
Your solid doors and shit.
And your beams.
Secondly,
your studs.
How the fuck does she know what it sounds like?
That is really specific. No, that's okay. So we unpacked the trailer part. Now she said it sounded like two people.
Right.
No, two fat people. Why are they fat? Are they fat because they can't fit through the door? But then she just said the trailer doors are so small and cheaply built that you wouldn't have to be. Me and you couldn't get through the fucking door together. We would bump into each other.
What a game show.
But yeah, listen over the phone. All right, now that's a cheaply built trailer with two fat people trying to get through the door at the same time. Ding, ding, ding. Hey, I did it. It's the worst $25,000 pyramid in the history of the world.
25-cent pyramid. That's what that is.
Holy
$25,000 pyramid scheme. That's what that game is.
Wow. So, okay.
How does she know that? That's amazing.
According to her.
She has heard that before.
She has heard two fat people try to get through a cheaply built trailer door at the same exact time. That's so
many
specific.
times. She's heard it so many times.
So specific.
She can recall it through a Casio.
That's what I mean. That's like a sense recall thing. That's like, what is that? Is that Ginger? That parade when I was a kid, when I was 10, and my mom, right there.
Oh my God,
I'm back again.
Oh my God.
Two fat people. What? I couldn't believe that when I'm reading it. I'm like, two fat people? What the fuck? So she said kind of like bumped and hit the wall, and it was a sound kind of like that.
Okay.
So two fat people have tried to get through a door in her mind.
She's worse than Kato Kalin.
She really is. Kato Kalin's, I heard a knock outside on the wall.
Heard a bump. It was like a...
He didn't say sounded like two. No, one guy who was in shape and a heavy-set woman in her, licks his tongue, holds it up for the wind, mid-40s. She was in her mid-40s. They bumped into my wall.
Right.
That's what happened. She knows, though.
Oh, fuck. Sounded like a pretty well in shape African-American fellow that maybe played for the Buffalo Bills.
With with a possibly a Jewish waiter. I'm going to go with in his mid-20s. Right. Yes, that's right.
Holy shit.
I think he was carrying sunglasses. I'm not sure. So, anyway, She said after that, it was a sound kind of like that we just described in great detail. She said it wasn't anything big, no crashing or anything like that. It was just like a bump, like somebody had fell up against the wall. Somebody, specifically a fat person.
Yeah.
And I could hear Claire say something to Jay, who's Jason Williams, asking him for help. And he asked her where her purse was so he could get her keys and take her to the hospital.
Yeah.
To me, it sounded like she was asking him for help and he was trying to give her some help. But I had talked to him. This happened around 6:20 when he dropped the phone. Somebody picked the phone back up, and it seemed to be, I don't know if it was a wall phone or a cordless phone, but I could hear the phone hitting something like that, indicating like it was swinging on a cord or something. Somebody picked it up, and I was going, Jay, Jay, and the phone dropped again, and then I didn't hear anything else. They said now, so the person questioning her said, okay, now you heard what sounded like a bump, which in reality was a shot.
Wow.
Yes.
She is a really bad game show contestant.
She said it didn't sound anything like a shot. Clearly, it sounded like two fat people going through a cheaply built trailer door. So she, wow.
She can't discern between a gunshot and two fat people bouncing around in a trailer.
She would be a bad $25,000 pyramid partner, I would say.
Jesus fuck, that's terrible.
It's a hat you wear indoors to keep water off your head. Shower cap, you fucking moron. Sorry.
Do you mean beanie cap?
Beanie cap because it's cold? You son of a bitch.
It's that moose plaid one, right?
All
moose
right,
plaid.
yeah.
Moose
with
plaid.
The ear flaps.
Right.
So they said, okay, did you hear a second shot or a second loud noise of any kind? She said, it wasn't loud. It was like, and they said, okay, what? And she said it was like a rolling type, just like if I stood up against this wall, and fell back against it, it would sound like that. I did hear that sound twice. So two trailer wall sounds, basically. Okay. Then they said, all right, did you hear Gerald Paravicini? She said, never heard. I never heard nobody's voice but Jay's and Claire's. Yeah. They said, well, when you heard Claire holler, what did you hear her yell? And holler is a very southern word. I don't hear the word holler very often unless it's from someone 80 or from the South.
Right.
I feel like that's
or somebody in the South talking about a place back in the woods.
Yeah, a holler, exactly. So,
where they do horrible things.
Horrible things, yes. Foreigners, beware. Right. So they said, when you heard Claire holler, what did you hear her yell? She said, answer was, she was asking Jay. She said, help me, Jay. And he said, where's your purse? He said, where are your he said, he asked where her purse was, that he wanted to get her keys. And then he came back to the phone and we had said a few more things. And then I said, what's going on? And then about that time, I could hear her ask her something, her ask him something, but I really couldn't hear what she was saying. The second time she said something to him, I couldn't understand what she was saying.
Perfect. I can't understand what you're saying.
Exactly. He was on the phone. She heard the noise. The phone dropped. She heard Claire say, I need help. He said, where's your purse? He came back on the phone. They said a couple things. Phone dropped again. Heard some more noises. That's it there.
What she actually heard was gunshots rolling, ricocheting throughout the fucking building.
Gunshots and yelling and the aftermath thereafter. They asked her, did you hear Mrs. Paravicini start to cry? She says no. They said, so this all happened here. So all this, so there's some shit happening when she's on the phone, actually, as you might imagine. They said, okay, when she was screaming or not, did she sound upset to you? And this is talking about Claire. Yeah. And Sandra said yes. They said, did you hear her cry? And she said, I could tell she was real upset, but I couldn't actually, it really happened so fast, So that makes sense. Now, while he was on the phone, what was going on? Was it fat people trying to get through a trailer door?
I'm curious.
Let's find out. While on the phone, he ended up, Jay puts the phone down, like they said, walks into the Paravicini's bedroom where Claire was in bed, and she's just hanging out in bed. It's 6:20 in the morning. He grabs a .22 caliber automatic rifle. So he grabs that.
And now back to the show.
Now he's still on the phone with her while this is happening. Okay, he's on the phone with her. Williams walks over and shoots Jeffrey. Okay. She shoots Jeffrey in the face and hand. He does, not she does. Williams, J-Bug, shoots young Jeffrey in the face and hand.
Okay.
Gerald then runs over
with one shot.
With two shots.
Two shots.
Face and hand. One was in the face. The other one was like he was putting his hand up and he got shot again.
Got it.
So then Gerald, the husband, Paravicini, he runs over to Jeffrey's aid, obviously. His son just got shot. So then J-Bug here shoots Gerald in the base of the neck on the left side.
Oh, Jesus.
And shoots him in the upper left chest area.
Where the heart is.
Where you would maybe hit something that's valuable to you. So this is fucking crazy. Gerald is hurt bad. Jeffrey, regardless of being shot in the face and hand, runs outside, runs over to a neighbor's house to get help. Is his plan. Good plan. Let's get near other people.
Right.
So Gerald also...
The sticks out there, somebody else has got a gun too.
Yeah, that's the thing. And you just want somebody to get power, strength in numbers here, So Gerald runs out of the home also, shot in the face and the neck, in the neck and chest. He somehow gets out of the home, bleeding profusely. It's at this point that Claire stirs from the bedroom. What's going on out here?
After 4 shots,
she hears this shot, the second gunshot that he hit with Gerald with. She comes out, looks outside. She sees Jeffrey running away, and she sees Gerald in the yard lying down bleeding. So if you wake up at 6:20 in the morning and you have no idea what's going on, and there's a guy with a rifle, and your son's running away, and your husband's bleeding in the yard, that's a fucking hell of a way to wake up.
It's not a happy morning.
That is not a happy morning. That day can only get better from there, I would think. Or worse. We'll find out which one it is. So Claire comes out. She sees all of this. Gerald's in the yard. Gerald is yelling to her, get help, obviously, because he's bleeding to death. So Claire runs next door to a man's house named George Evans. She runs to get him. She then runs back to Gerald, who at that time had got himself up and tried to walk farther away from the house, and who collapsed by the road.
My God, this guy's tough.
He is. Gerald's a tough bastard. He's trying. So Claire runs over to him to try to comfort him and help him. Meanwhile, his son's running down the street too, trying to get away. So George Evans next door, follows Claire outside, runs out to help her. He brings with him a shotgun, though. Man. So that's something that'll help at this situation. So this guy is protecting her, leading her outside with this shotgun. He looks to his right and sees Jay Williams standing in the doorway of the trailer, about 100 feet of space between them.
That's a problem with a shotgun.
Yeah, holding a rifle in his hand.
Okay.
So George Evans, 100 feet, not 100 yards. So you're just going to spray the whole area. You're going to hit something with that fucking shotgun.
Not much, though.
It's going to hurt.
It might piss him off real good.
You're going to scatter if someone points it at you, probably. So Evans brings the shotgun up and aims it at Williams, telling Williams not to shoot his fucking gun because he's going to shoot back. So Williams sees the firepower there and goes, maybe I don't want to get into a firefight here. Kind of wanted to shoot an unarmed teenager, not an armed hillbilly. So Williams ducks back into the trailer, and Evans runs back to his trailer with a shotgun.
He's like, gone.
Fuck that shit.
You're on your own, Claire.
Yeah, goddammit. I already did Vietnam. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
I gotta get a shirt under these overalls.
That's the thing. You need a shirt. I need a shirt under my overalls. Oh, we talked about that a lot.
Too early for this shit.
That's a callback joke, if you guys don't know, from Crime and Sports, where we discussed, for some reason...
overalls have just been embarrassing.
In the 80s, they put wrestlers in overalls with no shirts on. And Vince McMahon said, I like his look.
That side tit is terrifying.
Get that shirt off of there. I want to see his side tit popping out of those overalls. Come on. So, anyway, George Evans runs back into the other trailer like a smart man, like we said. Meanwhile, Sandra's still on the phone, like we said this whole time. She heard 2 cracking, popping, unknown noises. Williams picks the phone back up again. She's saying JJJ, and he just dropped the phone again. Now, this is coming from the other side, what Claire saw. Now, Claire is trying to help Gerald stand up to get away from this, maybe get her into the other guy's trailer, or house or trailer, or whatever the fuck is next door. She finds out that she can't get him up. Blood loss is too much, and he can't stand.
He's got no energy.
She's got no energy. So she... ballsy, knowing that Williams is in the trailer, she anyway still goes and runs back into the trailer to find something to stop Gerald's bleeding.
Is that crazy or brave?
And to get her car keys to take him to the hospital. God. It's both.
Is it? Is it shock?
I mean, it's instinct.
Yeah.
It's something that you would see a mother do when their kids are hurt.
Right.
And they would be like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going in there. They're going to burning buildings for their kid. Like, they don't care. Like, but this is some next level wifery right here. Yeah. This is some shit. This is wild.
She needs him alive. She's got no life insurance.
That's what it is. She's like, we didn't sign the paperwork.
Right.
Please
don't die. Live, goddammit.
So this poor woman, Jesus Christ, I mean, she's got her son shot, her husband shot. She's scared shitless, and she doesn't give a fuck. She bravely goes back into this trailer to get something, to get the car keys. What she finds, though, obviously, is Williams, who waves the rifle at her and tells her to get back and leave him alone or else he'd kill her. Okay. Now, think about this. Claire replied to him, now this is a guy who just indiscriminately shot your husband and your son, and she doesn't give a fuck. She's in his face. She is asking him to help her. Yeah. She's saying, he's hurt out there. Gerald's hurt. You need to fucking help me. Yeah. Stop being a dick and help me here. Williams then, instead of shooting her, he smashes her in the face with the rifle. Jesus. With the butt of the rifle, which is brutal.
That's vicious.
You know, what you see in like a Full Metal Jacket when somebody fucks up and they give him a jaw check with the butt of an M14.
Or the bad guy in Die Hard.
Yeah, one of the two.
Somebody's getting jacked.
Someone's jacked in the face here. So he smashes her in the face and the jaw, breaking her jaw. Fuck. Which is brutal. But he does not shoot her. Okay. Which I find so strange.
It's fascinating.
It's fascinating. Yeah. Is it not fascinating that he obviously just didn't seem to give a shit about human life, but got to the point where he had to physically get her away from him without killing her, which is amazing that he did. I don't know what the psychology is there. I don't know if that's I don't know.
Was she nice to the bully at some point?
That's what I mean. Yeah. Was she nice? She must have been so fucking nice to him.
Like, maybe she talked Gerald into letting him stay there.
That's what I mean. Is she the one who's like sponsored him into the situation? Is she the one who knows him well? Like,
it's got to be.
Like, oh, he's a nice guy. He's just troubled. Yeah. She's trying. I don't know what it is, but somehow he leaves her.
Or she's an amazing cook, and he comes home and there's always dinner on the table.
Yeah, he leaves her with her life, broken jaw, but her life, and he leaves with other things of hers. He leaves with her purse, which has her credit cards, checkbook, over $500 cash, all this shit. So, meanwhile, while all this is going on, this is like Rashomon. It's like all these different points of views because there's a phone point of view, there's Claire's first person point of view. Now there's a guy driving by on the street, a gentleman named Buford Billaduea.
Wow. Buford. That's a southern name.
Buford. Billaduea. I don't know what, but Buford. That's
they call
Buford.
me BB.
They call me BB. It's much easier now. Now, BB, he's driving his truck. He drives past the Paravicini's trailer. Yeah. He saw Jeffrey and Gerald run out of the trailer. That's the time he ran in front. So this is, we're putting, triangulate this whole thing and put it together. He sees them run out. He then sees Williams follow them later on because he sits there for a minute. This is... Because all this happens, we just described it, but it happened. This is 30 seconds. Right. She runs next door, gets the guy. He comes out. Don't you shoot. He runs back in his trailer. She goes inside, says, help me. He smashes her with the butt of the rifle, walks out with the purse. A minute tops. Yeah. So this guy sees all this, sees this guy bleed, and sits there for a second, then sees Jason Williams come out of the trailer with a large black purse. Okay. Now, Williams, at this point, approaches Billaduea, telling him that he needs Billaduea's truck because he has an emergency. Yeah. Okay? Now, Billaduea, this is fucking great. Billaduea, this is very southern. Yeah. Buford notes that Williams looked as though he had been, quote, taking dope. So, he looked like,
seen it too.
He said, I heard it on the TV. They talk about them people that take dope, and I feel like that's what they gonna look like. So Billaduea does the probably funniest thing I've ever fucking heard of when being I've never heard of anyone do this when they're being carjacked. This might be the thing to do. I'm not sure. What he does is he yanks the keys out of the ignition, gets out of the truck, and runs into the woods. Leaves his
yours.
Truck.
He didn't say, give me the keys and the truck.
Didn't say shit. Left his truck in the middle of the street with the fucking driver door open, and he just ran into the woods with his keys in his hands, leaving William standing there going, what the fuck do I do now? What do I do now?
He's got a truck.
Shit. All right, well, that's pointless now. It worked, but it's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Now there's a truck sitting in the middle of the road.
It's the equivalent of like a kid if somebody pushes him, they just go down in like a fetal position. It's like that sort of thing. Like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you?
Right.
So he does that. So then Williams began shooting at Billaduea.
Just looking him into the woods.
Indiscriminately firing shots off at a running man. And now it's turned into a real Southern farce now.
Now it's a shitstorm.
Now there's a guy named Buford fleeing a pickup truck into the woods. Now I hear but it's like comical. It's not like, it's not rapey banjo music.
Yeah.
It's like when Smokey's running from the Smokey and the Bandit are having a chase. I don't know.
It's Benny Hill on a banjo.
That's what it is. So, I mean, there's dying people. Right. It's not funny, but this is fucking ridiculous. So he's shooting at this guy. This guy doesn't get hit somehow, runs away into the woods, avoids being hit. So now Williams is standing there like, shit, I can't do anything with this truck. Yeah. What do I do now? So he turns and walks up the road about 100 yards. There he finds the home of Linda and Freddie Barber. Okay. Now, Williams knew them just from around the neighborhood. Since he's been there, there's like a hoop in the neighborhood apparently, and he's like gone and shot hoops with their kids for a little bit. Their sons and
play some cornhole on the weekends or some shit.
Their sons Brad and Brian have played basketball with him outside. Just shot some hoops, and he goes inside. Whatever. Yeah. He's not best friends with these people. He just knows of them, knows their name. Hey, Freddie. Hey, fucking whatever. Hey, J Bug. How you doing? Right. So also too, they'd been at church on a couple of occasions together with them. So he went to church with the Paravacinis and knew these people from there. Introduced them, the whole deal. So Williams here, J Bug, attempts to enter their home. He's trying to break into the Barber's house or trailer, whatever. Got to be very specific here. Now, Linda Barber is
into their shelter,
into their dwelling. So now Linda Barber was getting ready for work at the U.S. Post Office. So she's going to work for the Postal Service.
Rain or shine.
Rain or shine. Yeah. She's showing up. She answers the front door. She's just like, oh, that's that guy from down the street.
Right.
Well, I wonder what he wants so early in the
Awfully
morning.
early for basketball.
Who knows? Something might be wrong. Maybe Claire needs some sugar. I don't fucking know. Maybe she ran out of whatever. So she opens the door. When she opens the door, Williams immediately shoots her in the head.
Oh, my God.
Immediately shoots her in the head.
Right now?
Right now.
No questions?
No, shoots her twice in the head like nobody's business. Pow, pow. That's it for Linda there. Poor Linda Barber. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. She opens her door. Oh, there's a neighbor. Gunshots to the head. That's insane. So now next, J-Bug here goes into the kitchen where Freddie Barber is just sitting there at the table drinking coffee, minding his own fucking business. So what does Jason Williams do? Shoots him right in the head.
Oh, my God.
These people have done nothing to him.
Nothing.
No, they're not even in his way.
No.
It's not even like they're trying to, keep him, retain him. They're not trying to hold him till the cops get there. They don't know they're just in their house, man.
Jesus.
Like, this is fucking nuts.
He's just wandering through shooting people.
Next, he goes down the hall and finds son Brian, sleeping in his bed and shoots him while he's asleep in his bed.
Fuck.
Multiple gunshot wounds, 2 of which ended up being found in his head.
Okay.
So I think it was 3 gunshots altogether, 2 of which in his head.
That's fucked up.
Killed him in bed. He never knew what happened. All 3 of these very close range. Yeah. Shot Linda. She opened the door. She's face to face right there. Walked right into the kitchen. It's a small trailer kitchen, man. It's not not like he's shooting across a great room of a mansion. Right in the head, and then walked up on a sleeping child and put a gun to him and shot him 3 fucking times there. This is insanity. All close range. Now, Brad, through this whole thing, was sleeping in the back. The son, Brad, he awoke to the sounds of screaming and gunshots reverberating through a tin trailer. That'll happen. So
you
Brad,
heard a bunch of fat people getting out of doors.
Yeah,
and
he's
shit.
like, who invited fat people over?
Fat people.
Our aunt and uncle Bill. And where are they now? I thought they weren't coming over till later. They are fat as shit, and you never just wait. You wait for her to go through the door, then walk through it. Now what the hell are you doing?
Turn.
Goddamn rednecks. He doesn't like the rednecks either. I have to live here, but I ain't gotta like it. So Poor Brad, he gets up and opens his door and looks out to see what the fuck's going on. Williams turns around like the fucking Terminator.
Oh, no.
Sees him poke his head out of the door, starts walking toward him. There's somebody else to fucking shoot. So he ends up, Brad ducks back into his bedroom and locks the door.
Yeah.
You locked a hollow core trailer door. That's not going to do much. Williams quickly kicked it in or went really hard. One of the two, it flew off the fucking hinges. So Brad, though, he's a goddamn fighter.
Yeah.
Brad doesn't just fall down in the fetal position and take his fate and accept it. He grabs the barrel of the gun, like reaches out, not grabs it like you're grabbing your dick, like long ways. He grabs it like
just cups the front
with the front of the barrel over his palm, just like grabbing it. And just you're reaching out, trying to push it away from you.
Trying
to
survive.
Yeah, that's I guess that's the advantage of a close range attack. This sort of thing. Williams just pulls the trigger, shoots him in the hand, blows a shot through his hand. The two of them struggle now because they're in close range, and he had the gun. He shoots it, so it knocks that hand off, but he keeps trying to struggle. And it's hard to get a rifle at someone who's on top of you because you can't. It's too long. You need range. You're like Dave Winfield at the plate. Like you like that outside pitch you can extend your arms on. You know what I mean? Like in the 70s, or it's one of those things. Like you don't want to get jammed up.
That's kind of the whole idea of a handgun. Yeah, it's a little better in close quarters. Right.
So this not so great here. Brad ends up somehow manages to escape out of his grips, out of Williams' grips, and burst through the back door and get out of the home.
Great.
Somehow gets out of the house and runs through the woods.
Okay.
Apparently, if anyone's attacking you, just find the nearest woods and run toward them. That's where you're safe. I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
Sidestep, bob and weave around trees. Just get the fuck out of there.
It's called an Alabama panic room, I believe, is the woods.
Also an Alabama rape room.
Also, that's one of the two. So, that would cause panic. So there you go.
But in this case, I would rather be raped than murdered.
I would say, I think so.
I don't know if maybe.
Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah.
So he runs through the. I don't know. Maybe it's,
I don't know.
I don't know how to say
you
that.
never know.
I don't want someone to go. Well, I wish I was dead. No, fine. All right. Good. I don't know. That's off. This neither here nor there. There's no rape in this story.
This is terrifying.
No rape in this story. I'll guarantee you that much. There's zero rape.
Good.
Absolutely none. So. So at this point, he runs through the woods, and his sister lives on the other side of the woods from their house. So he runs to his sister's house to safety. Now, Williams looks around the house, takes the barber's keys, and steals some money and shit that he finds, and grabs their van and drives off.
Okay.
He's gone. Fucking takes off out of the neighborhood, screaming down the street in a stolen van.
Yeah.
Now, February 16th, 2 days, that was the 15th, now the morning of the 15th. The next day, he has reached the Mississippi-Louisiana border. So he's crossed the border. You're right by the border to Mississippi, crossed into there, and then crossed the entire state of Mississippi. All the way across, I assume on the 10, all the way across Mississippi. He reaches the Mississippi-Louisiana border and goes to a payphone and calls Sandra Elsie. Why? You have thoroughly fucked that up. And I assume... If I'm him, I would assume she knows about what I just did, too. So she probably likes me less now, I'm going to say, at this point.
Maybe I can restart this, though. Like,
baby?
The good day, so my day went to shit, but I had good intentions. So I'm going to go back to the part where I still had good intentions, which was the phone call to her. That's what I'm going to do.
You believe in Jesus? Because
I got a tone right now.
You can be born again, see, like this relationship.
And I choose to be reborn right the part where I was on the phone with you.
Right about there.
So picture me sliding out of Jesus's vagina right now.
Right before I said, take me to the Top Gun Club instead of going home with you. Right before that point.
That's when I'm going to slide out of Jesus's nether loins.
That's what's going to happen. Nether region or loinal area. So... Sandra Elsie advises him to surrender because the authorities have now come to her house looking for him.
Sure.
So she's like, cops are here too. Like, everyone's fucking looking for you. You shot a fuckload of people.
Too many.
You killed a bunch of people. This is just not okay here. Jesus Christ, man. You have killed... That's too many people. I'm sorry.
But by the grace of God, did BB get out
through... 4 people, sorry.
Yeah. Could be 6.
Yeah,
Could be
it could be
7.
6. That's the thing. Could be Claire. Could be fucking Brad. It could, who knows? But
could be
Buford,
8 if he hit
Buford.
BB. Right.
He's out there.
If he hit BB and killed Claire, that's 8 altogether that caught bullets.
No, absolutely.
Unbelievable.
So she told him, apparently, after this, she said to turn himself in. He walks out of a telephone booth and walks over, finds the nearest police officer he can find, and turns himself in Mississippi.
That's it.
He's like, all right, fine. He turns himself in. It's about 100 miles west of where this all took place. He tells authorities he was drinking heavily and he was taking LSD, and more on that later. More on his excuses later. But that's what he says initially. The police say that he had a phone conversation with his ex-wife, and she apparently didn't want to see him anymore, and they believe that was the trigger that made him snap.
Okay. But that wasn't good enough, right? They still cuffed him?
All right, good. They were like, oh, well, let him go. Sorry, you got to let him go.
It's a great story.
He was under a lot of pressure. His wife left him. It happened,
But you just slid back out of Jesus' netherloins, right?
Yeah, it's okay. All right, she's fine.
Have a great day, sir.
So Brad Barber and Jeffrey Carr, the Paravicini's stepson there, were both wounded, and they were both in stable condition in the hospital by the time he was caught. So they said... It's funny too. They had him, like, he went to the police, and then they had to like call the other police to come get him. Like, hey, we got a guy here who says you might want him, type of thing. And the cop said, quote, he told us about where he was, and he said that he had thrown the rifle away. So he said he was on the way. He threw the rifle out the window or over a bridge somewhere. He doesn't know what bridge or what water it was, just one of these bridges over there. He said he also disposed of Freddie Barber's wallet after taking all the money out of it, obviously. He said he spent the money that he stole from the Barbers and Claire Paravicini on what? Crack cocaine.
Oh, my God.
He said, because it didn't take him a whole day to get 100 miles.
Yeah.
He said he took the van and the cash, drove away from there, went and smoked crack for a while.
Went to a crack den.
Went till he had no more. Smoked all of the money and crack that he had, basically, and then took off westward.
That's a hell of a fucking plan.
That's some kind of plan. I'm going to kill these people, smoke a bunch of crack, and then I guess go to Mexico? I don't know what the fuck his plan was.
Turn myself in because I can't get to Mexico now.
It ain't going to happen. Yeah, I spent all my money on crack.
Jesus.
So, according to his initial interview with law enforcement here, he said that he had a few drinks with Elsie. He said that he drank liquor all night at the club. While at the club, he bought 2 round yellow pills from someone named Teddy.
Yeah.
Ooh, never buy anything from someone named Teddy. He said he didn't know whether the pills were ecstasy or LSD, but he was pretty sure they were LSD, and so was Teddy.
Got it.
You're selling pills, you don't even know what they are. I think this is LSD or it might be ecstasy, and someone went, I'll take it.
This is either ecstasy or Tums. Try it.
What the fuck? It's in a bathroom, so it's illicit, so I'm selling it to you. Unreal. So he says, like I said, he believes he took the pills between 3 and 5 a.m. At that point. Now, April 12th, 92, regardless of whatever excuse he has, he is indicted, obviously, on 2 counts of capital murder. Williams was also charged with attempted murder on Claire and Brad. It was 2 counts of capital murder because that's murder during a robbery. So that's who he stole money from, basically. And it's the other one that's murder during a robbery, and then the other count of it is murder of 2 or more persons in the same course of conduct. Is also a capital offense. So he's got 2 death penalty eligible offenses on his docket. So that's
nothing about attempted murder or assault with a deadly weapon on BB.
Well, no, not on him. He's indicted also.
They dropped that one.
2 counts of attempted murder of Jeffrey Carr and Brad Barber. Also,
they could have got him with all kind of shit.
All kind of
Theft Auto, 2 counts of that shit.
I'm sure he had crack on him or some residue of something on him when they found him. He decides to plead. I mean, it's hard to say I didn't do it,
right?
Because I don't know. Everyone saw you do it,
right?
You left 2 You left 2 living witnesses in one house and 1 in another,
and then another in another house with a shotgun,
and then a guy running through the woods.
Right.
So people have seen your fucking face.
Too many.
I would say so.
I'm sure he was singing like a songbird at the crack den too.
Oh God!
Can't imagine what he was talking about.
Flush with fucking $700 in his pocket, and they're like, "Where the fuck did you get that?" He was just there,
right?
3 hours before that spending all his money on crack, and he comes back with crack money.
Wrestling with a dude that has a gunshot wound in the hand, so he's likely covered in blood, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. He shot all these people close range. There's blood all over him. He can't not have blood on him. He pleads guilty, or I'm sorry, I apologize. Yeah. He pleads not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. So he's going to say he's crazy. He's not going to say he's crazy, actually. It's very, very temporary because his excuse is, I was tripping my balls off. That LSD's a hell of a fucking, takes over, and I couldn't help it.
Doesn't fucking make it okay, bro.
No, we get to the trial of this whole deal, and Williams testifies at his trial like a lunatic.
Yeah. Is this one of the first of its kind to be argued that he was on drugs?
Really? People try that shit for years. And there's actually an argument for it that if you're so fucked up that you are not aware of the consequences of your actions, blah, 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 you'll still get convicted probably for murder, but technically by the law that would be manslaughter at that point, like an involuntary manslaughter. But you're going away for something for this. You can't just kill people and go,
trying to make the sentence lighter.
Yeah, you can't just go, I was fucked up, and they go, oh, that's all right, man, that's all right.
We understand.
Yeah, clean it up next time. Clean it up next time. It's no big deal. So it's a crazy thing to fucking say. But at the trial, November 10th, 92, he testifies. He says that he had a few beers with Elsie, like we said. Then he said he quote, he drank, quote, a pretty good bit of beer after she dropped him off at another club. He said at the club, he's telling the court that he purchased 3 hits of LSD for $7 each.
That's a deal.
That isn't a bad deal. I was going to say, it's not terrible. From someone he didn't know, Teddy.
That's a bad deal.
Teddy, you bought unknown pills from a stranger in an Alabama bar bathroom.
For cheap.
What the fuck did you expect? For a quote, good deal. The fuck did you expect would happen here? He said he remembered taking 2 of them. He says that he testifies on the stand that he does not remember killing anyone. Not even for a second. He only recalls that he went into the bathroom and began to feel very scared. He said that the walls were moving at this point. And imagine him on the stand trying to
imagine.
Because I mean to tell a big horse shit lie in front of in broad daylight with judges and jurors and people staring at you, it just looks ridiculous to tell something. It's not like, no, I went home. I wasn't there. I went home. No, really, I didn't kill her. He starts going into this crazy story about what he saw in his acid trip. And he's trying to convey this to the jury, which must have been ridiculous. He said he began to feel very scared in the bathroom. He saw the walls move, which they do anyway. They're trailer walls. We know how this works. Somebody must have bumped into them and it's still reverberating. Then he said, though, this was the thing. He said he saw a larger-than-life apparition walking toward him that made him fear for his life.
He's telling this story to a librarian from Gadsden.
Who's on the jury. Yeah, who listens to the Gold City Quartet. He's like, I was tripping balls, and there was this big thing, and it was black and coming toward me, and I thought he was going to eat my soul.
And she's supposed to believe that and be like,
and she says,
we should be light on him.
She says, let me ask you a question. You believe in Jesus? So I feel like you should. I feel like you need him.
Yeah.
So, he said all that. He's a larger-than-life apparition. He says that he began flipping out even before he called Sandra Elsie. Yeah. He said so he was tripping balls, called Sandra Elsie as kind of like a grounding thing. And I will say this, when you're tripping on acid, you look for a branch to grab onto as you're sliding down the hill.
Solid.
You look for a sober person who you know will take care of you because you can't take care of yourself because you are a fucking moron.
You're useless.
You're useless. So he says that he called Elsie, and he said he tried to disguise his drug use from her to try to keep her from getting angry with him. Right. So he didn't call her up and be like, I'm tripping and I'm scared and I need help. He called her up and being like, oh, I'm fine, baby. It's all good. What's happening? It's fine.
Talk to me.
Yeah, so he said he testified, though, after he got on the phone with her, saw the apparition. I'm all scared in the bathroom. He says he testifies that he does not remember anything that occurred between the time he dialed the number for Sandra and when he, quote, found himself driving a van in Mississippi a day later. A day. He's saying, I lost 24 hours. I blacked out for 24 hours.
Nope.
Sorry. First of all, acid doesn't last 24 hours. Second of all, you don't black out from acid.
No.
Third of all, no. 24 hours, you don't black out from drinking. There's nothing that makes you black out for 24 hours besides
an entire day.
Some powerful narcotic administered by a fucking anesthesiologist is the only thing that's going to keep you out.
Do you have an epidural in that van,
Come
sir?
on, dude. Seriously. Out of your fucking mind.
Did they give you an IV Dilaudid at the crack den?
Well, yeah.
That's the only thing that makes it okay.
They jam that in there? Even then, you'd remember things. You wouldn't not out for 24 hours. You'd come back an hour later going, oh, fuck, man.
Did they Michael Jackson propofol you at the crack den? Because otherwise, no.
And somehow you slept walked your way into murders and smoking a bunch of crack and robberies and then driving across the state, but you didn't realize it?
Not just sleepwalking.
Fuck.
You were talking. You told a man, give me your truck.
I'm a sleep killer.
Right.
Sleep carjacker. Sleep breaking and enterer, sleep crack purchaser, sleep driver, everything. So, yeah.
Although that would be amazing to pass out and then just wake up somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we don't have that sort of technology yet. Where I can't sleep on planes, so that's not a thing. But I'd love to just sit down somewhere and then just wake up and I'm in New York.
Never
that would
happens.
be wonderful.
Never fucking happens, unfortunately, for us.
But he figured this technology out in 1992.
Good. He was pretty impressive, honestly. All on his own, too. A little home experimentation.
Regular Steve Jobs.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, too, when he spoke to the cops on February 16th and gave his big statement about not remembering what happened, no word of a large apparition.
Nothing.
No word of walls moving, of being scared, of tripping balls. None of that shit came up at that point. He just went, I don't know. I drank a whole bunch. I don't remember what happened.
People are dead.
So, that's a sticky point when they, cross-examine him and they're like, well, why didn't you tell the police officers about that and shit like that? I'm still out of it.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
I hadn't thought of it yet. I mean.
That's what my lawyer told me. I mean, shit, damn it. Fuck, I'm bad at this. God damn it. Maybe I shouldn't have. Hey, you know what? You were right. I shouldn't have. I have to
now.
Oh, fuck.
Did I tell you I was adopted?
I'm stuck here now. I'm having chest pains. Anybody else having chest pains?
The walls are closing in.
I know I did an oath. I think I'm going to read it again. I think I'll read it again because I need some time to stall. Right. So So
y'all heard of the Gold Quartet?
He said that all he remembers is that he did tell the officers that he didn't remember killing anyone the night before he got caught, and that he also told the officers that he remembered seeing blood on his pants and throwing a rifle in the water. He remembered that.
Okay.
So he's saying, I remember, this, so obviously I did it, but fuck, I'm not responsible.
Right.
He gets, obviously, psychiatrists to try to back him up on this. A Dr. Claude L. Brown, he's the defense doctor. He meets with Williams here. At trial, Brown testifies for the defense. He says he diagnoses Williams with borderline personality disorder, which is, a common thing, and it's difficult to treat. It can be, and that doesn't mean you're going to go slaughter a neighborhood. Right. So he testified about it. So he said it's a mental disorder characterized by inner emptiness, dissatisfaction, and impulsive actions undertaken in an effort to feel better, such as suicide attempts, or lots of people will have, go out and fuck 30 people or do a bunch of weird bursts of behavior.
Some people deal with it different ways.
It's all different.
It's usually not 8 people getting assaulted.
Usually not. But he says that persons with BPD, for the most part, have limited, but by the way, this isn't me saying this. This is a doctor on the stand in 1992 in Alabama. So whatever. I'm just saying what he said in court. He says they have limited but intense fluctuating relationships. He testified that people with borderline personality disorder can be thrown into psychotic behavior by increases in anxiety from any source. He testified that Williams' BPD dates all the way back to his childhood and was unrelated to his use of drugs before the murders. He also testified that LSD is per weight, per whatever, pound for pound, the most psychogenic drug in the world. He testified that LSD causes frightening distortions and detachments from reality, like psychosis. Furthermore, using alcohol and cocaine with LSD exaggerates these responses, which isn't very true. And I've taken acid, and I know a lot of people have taken acid. You never see wholesale things appear. Never happens. That's shit that happens in movies.
Right.
In real life, you see shit distorted and a little melty and different, or you look
Sit
like...
down in a chair, and it's softer than it should be.
I remember my friend Tom looked like a witch. Like, just the way his face did, and I was like, ooh, weird. But... I didn't see a witch appear, and then he was sitting in front of him. Like, that's ridiculous. So it's bullshit. So
isn't this fun?
Isn't it fun? Right. He also says on the stand that Williams was psychotic at the time of the killings. Furthermore, Williams was suffering from this mental disease or defect rendered him unable to appreciate the nature and quality or wrongfulness of his acts, which is the legal definition of crazy or whatever, of not criminally responsible. He also says that this psychosis resulted from a combination of pre-existing personality structure acted upon by the heavy overload of drugs that he'd been taking all night, and then finally set off by the stressor of Sandra being mad at him.
Now give me a paycheck.
All this, boom, now pay me.
I've said it on the stand. I would like my paycheck, sir.
Yeah, and he also says that his BPD in and of itself probably didn't trigger this conduct, but had Williams been sober, the murders probably wouldn't have occurred. Mm-hmm. That's his opinion. Now, the state doctor... Slightly different opinion. A little bit. He also diagnoses Williams with BPD, which is fine. Also, antisocial personality disorder, and also substance abuse, which the other guy didn't talk too much about.
Right.
He just talked about that day. This Dr. Harry McLaren testified that given Williams' account of his drug and alcohol ingestion, he was probably very intoxicated at the time of the killings, just based on his statements, but those are self-serving statements.
Also, it's a guy that's probably talking about if he ingested that much shit. You're talking about a man that...
pro.
This even keels him.
Yeah, he took a bunch of pills, smoked a bunch of crack, but
it's no different than day before.
Yeah. I know a guy used to do a whole bunch of shit and get in the car and drive fine. And I was like, how do you do that? I don't know how he did it back in the day. We were like 17, by the way, so don't say, you shouldn't let people do that. We were 17. Right. I had no idea you shouldn't let people do that.
Drank and drove.
Everybody was just like, I think I can get home, and then you go. So,
and I did.
It's not good, too. You shouldn't do that. But
no, I'm not proud of it.
No.
I'm just saying, I did it a lot,
not
and
you,
I never
everybody.
hurt nobody.
Yeah, so he also testifies that psychosis resulting from LSD can last from 8 to 12 hours, and that Williams' amnesia was possibly chemically induced. He also testified that when some people are highly intoxicated from hallucinogenic drugs, they may display some symptoms of psychosis. He says he met with him a whole bunch of times. The guy gave him, Williams gave this doctor the same story about the club and the whiskey. And now there's a long purple tablet involved in addition to the other one. So that came out of nowhere with this guy.
Yeah, himself some Nexium.
Yeah. He told this guy that he went to a house, and on 2 different trips he bought crack. He said he remembered arguing on the phone. This is what he told the doctor, and then he flipped out, felt frightened. He gave this guy the same bullshit story. He says that he tells Dr. McLaren that he heard someone holler his name and felt like everyone was out to get him after the large apparition appeared. And then he told the doctor that he thought the only way out of this trailer was to shoot his way out.
Wow.
The only way out of the trailer to shoot his way out.
It's a door that breaks.
Yeah,
really easy
it's a door that breaks. And not to mention, you could have left at any time, and you hit Claire with a rifle, and then you went up the street and tried to rob. You did a lot.
Yeah.
If you just shot one person and then snap back to reality, I might give it to you.
Right.
I might go, fuck, let him do 5 years and maybe you didn't know any better.
Right.
No, you did a whole bunch of shit. Sorry.
And still, if he shoots one person, but if that person's not dead, that's the difference.
That's the difference. If you kill them, you can go fuck yourself.
Maybe go to jail for the rest of your life.
I think so. He said he had no other memories again until he found himself driving the van in Mississippi. This doctor basically said that Williams had no significant psychiatric history other than the attempted suicide back in 1990. He knew the wrongfulness of his acts, regardless of the drugs, and he testified that since drugs and alcohol exacerbated Williams' borderline personality disorder, without intoxication, Williams probably would not have killed these people. But what fucking difference does that make? Other witnesses at trial testified that they thought Williams had taken drugs that night. A Gregory Rockwell, who he worked the door at the club that he was at, the Top Gun Club. This guy, he testified that he saw Williams arrive around 11:30, which makes sense because Sandra wanted to go home at 11, and leave around 1 a.m. They said Williams returned within an hour. So they leave at 1. This makes sense because he said he went and bought crack twice in the night. So he says they left at 1 a.m., returned within an hour, appearing disheveled, sweating profusely, jumping and dancing around, which sounds like, I just smoked a whole bunch of crack. And then when he left later on in the night.
Jumping and dancing.
Well, you're in a club.
Okay.
And plus,
I'm picturing him getting out of a car, jumping and dancing all the way to the door.
He went jumping and dancing, and then also he said he probably took some ecstasy or some shit like that, and that'll make you jump and dance, and sweating profusely is all those things. So all this shit going on right now, it's fucking crazy. So Rockwell said that he thought Williams appeared as though he was tripping on LSD at the time.
Got it.
But that's at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Now also at Kelso Stewart testified that Williams asked him if he knew where some LSD or crack cocaine could be located that night. That is a big difference.
Yeah.
I'm looking for kale or a Big Mac. Can I find those anywhere? What the fuck is that? Not that one's good and one's bad, but they're very different.
There's a valley between those two.
That's huge.
I can see somebody saying, I'd like to get some weed and some Coke. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because I'm going to
do
those together.
Booze and Coke keeps people together.
I'd like to get some acid and,
or crack.
a rake.
Either one. Which is, I don't know what I'm in the mood. He didn't say both. He said or. I'm looking for either. I either want to trip or be on crack, which are way different. So I don't know what he's in the mood for. He said, this Stewart said that he left the bar between 3 and 4 a.m., Jay Williams did, and when he returned, he also, between 3 and 4 a.m., found Williams disheveled and sweaty and hyper. Mm-hmm. Sounds like he went and got crack and came back, hung out, partied, went back, got some more crack, is what it sounds like.
He chose the crack.
He chose the crack. So, as you can imagine, this trial, I mean, there's not a whole lot of mystery to who did it. He fucking did it. It's just a matter of if a 1992 Alabama jury feels bad for a guy because he was all fucked up on hippie drugs. So, what do you think's going to happen? Think they're going to let him off?
Somebody's about to have some fried chicken and smashed
that's
potatoes.
What I'm saying here. Yeah, you know that. Someone's going to have some last words.
Yeah.
November 11th, 1992 is the verdict.
Yeah.
The jury, after not that long, returns a guilty verdict on one count of intentional murder during the course of a robbery for the deaths of Freddie Barber and Linda Barber. Also returned a guilty verdict for the capital offense of intentional murder for the deaths of Gerald and Freddie Barber, and all of them together in that, the one we told you about.
Yeah.
There's the robbery one, and there's the killing more than 2 people at once thing.
Right.
Got him on both of those.
Okay.
Convicted. Then the jury has to make a recommendation for sentencing, and then the judge actually does the sentencing.
Got it.
Jury, by a vote of 10-2, because this is just a majority here, jury votes for the death sentence for him for these murders.
2 people said maybe not.
2 people just probably were not death penalty advocates. Probably just 2 people who don't believe in the death penalty and whatever. And also they might have thought, maybe he was super fucked up and I don't want to kill a guy. People,
A couple of people with DUIs that are like, listen, I told that cop.
Shit.
I didn't know what I was doing.
I don't remember shit. I've been there. I've not remembered things. So now December 1st, 1992 is sentencing. And during the sentencing hearing, Williams' actual mother is there. His real mother.
The one that gave birth.
The one that gave birth to him is there, Patricia Neal. And she begged the jury not to recommend the death penalty. Before they did, she said, quote, I just blame me because I was not a mother to my son like I should have been. Please don't kill my son. So I feel for this fucking lady. That's
some tough words.
She's up there going, Jesus, fuck, it's all my fault. I mean, you would feel terrible because you'd be like, maybe if I raised him and was a good mother, and had a good father, had a good family, maybe he wouldn't be a fucking murderer. I would think that too if it was my son. I
shouldn't have fucked my kin.
If your son killed, I shouldn't have fucked my cousin. If your son kills a guy, you're going to feel guilty for that shit.
Terrible.
I did something wrong there, I would think. So the court
rethinking every conversation.
What did I say to him? So the court here, it's up to them, and they tell him sentencing you, sir.
Yes.
May fuck off.
To?
They sentence him to death.
Oh boy.
In addition to that, they also sentence him to 20 years imprisonment for the attempted murder convictions. So we're going to put your corpse right back in a cell. Yeah. Enjoy.
I wish they would do that.
Right?
It's like taking
his bones back there.
They should have a wall of urns that have like expiration dates, and then you just take the urn and toss it out
I thought
after
you meant
20
like
years.
the catacombs under Paris, just like where there's like rooms of like thousands of skeletons.
that are just like chained up.
No, they just stuff skeletons into a big room at the end of these catacombs under the city, and you'll walk through and there's a big skeleton room.
I'd rather it be like
they
like
stuff the dead soldiers
Holmes,
in there.
Like H.H. Holmes' dungeon, where they're just like skeletons strung up in like chains and shit.
Jesus Christ.
No, but a wall of urns that just have like a date that you can throw that shit out, or it can go back to the family if they want it by then.
It's been 20 years. Yeah. There you go. You're free. You're free to go, sir. So
that would be amazing.
So he appeals, obviously.
Yeah.
Number one appeal, he appeals on several different counts. First of all, he appeals on the alleged abuse of the grand jury process, God damn it. He contends that the district attorney engaged in prosecutorial misconduct that violated his right to due process and a fair trial under the United States and Alabama constitutions. God damn it! He says that this requires immediate reversal of not only his sentences but also his convictions.
Let me free.
They need to be put aside. They said this was all about the timing of when the district attorney subpoenaed his ex-wife Elsie there. She was at the trial to be a lead defense witness, but then she testified before the grand jury when the prosecution called her. So they're saying she was on our witness list. So you can't call her as your person. And it's fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely asinine.
Is that how that works?
No.
Okay.
No, it absolutely isn't.
What's it matter?
It absolutely
Because they get to cross-examine her anyway.
That's the thing. But they were, they're just going for
and they could
it doesn't
call
matter.
Her too,
but it's
they?
an appeal. Yeah, it's a law. It's grand jury shit is complicated. And there's more legal shit to it than that, but that's the basic gist of it here. Also, he's complaining because the grand jury had no billed, is what they're calling it, the charges against Williams for the attempted murders of Claire and Buford.
Yeah.
They brought them before the grand jury later on and called Elsie to testify then and cross-examined her. And then later the district attorney asked the May grand jury to, it's so weird, and then brought the charges up later.
Okay.
They're trying to say the DA manipulated the process to get the most charges and to get whatever, which is what they do, and he probably did do that.
Job.
He still shot a shitload of people.
Right.
So
their job is to stack charges based on the event.
And and I'm all for, because we've had people ask this. I don't want anybody not getting a fair trial. If it comes out that the DA made somebody lie and shit like that, I don't care who you killed. You should get another trial.
Right.
Period. That's it. You should get a retrial that's fair. Right. And we should all be fair and convict you the right way if you fucking did.
And Harry Connick Jr.'s dad, that dickhead in Louisiana, like just going after death penalty after death. That's
what I mean.
Terrible.
You don't know.
That's not the way it should be. It should be case by fucking case.
So it's one of those things. So, anyway, back to this here. But, a little ticky-tack thing. I'm like, that's a different thing where the outcome would have been the same and everything's fine. That's like, you didn't really get fucked and not get a fair trial because the sequence of events of a grand jury indictment, you shot a bunch of people, you fucking idiot.
Fact is, several people are dead because of you. I don't care if you wash two of them away.
Yeah.
Take all the charges except for one capital murder. You're still up for death, buddy.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And the other thing, too, the court also brings up, funny, nobody brought that up while it was happening.
Right.
They said, you were so outraged by the prosecutorial abuse of the grand jury process, but not until you were convicted. At the time, you never even said objection. That never came up.
Until the judge says, I'm imposing the death penalty. That's when you go, I got problems.
I got all sorts of problems. Oh, my God.
Judge, we got to talk.
Holy cow. The whole thing's an issue.
Grand juries.
I didn't do nothing. Apparitions and such. You know how it is. So
Jesus' tenderloin.
Anyway.
That's birthed me.
So direct appeals here in August of 1996, the Alabama Court of Criminal Appeals affirms his convictions and his death sentence. On October 3rd, 1997, the Supreme Court of Alabama affirms the decision of the Alabama Court of Appeals, which is just backing up the affirmation of the sentence and the conviction. On June 15th, 1998, the U.S. Supreme Court denied Williams' petition for his writ there. They told him to fucking eat dicks, too.
I was getting scared for a second.
It's weird here. So 1999, Williams files a state habeas petition in state court asserting ineffective assistance of counsel now.
Oh, Jesus.
So this is 10 years later, 6 years later.
He's swinging heavy, isn't he?
He's swinging for the fit, trying to throw whatever shit sticks to the wall.
Yeah.
Handful of spaghetti.
Yeah.
How many stick? Half it fell on the floor. Fuck it, a couple of strands are still up there. It works for me.
Habeas right there,
Yep,
and grand jury right there.
I name him Corpus. All right, there. Now, August 17th, 2000, the court holds an evidentiary hearing. On October 9th, 2001, the court denies Williams. He had a petition for some evidentiary bullshit. This was like a real technical ticky-tack thing he was going for. They denied him on that. On November 14th, 2003, the Alabama Court of Criminal Appeals affirms the trial court's denial of his Rule 32 petition. Okay. So this is some legal shit. On May 14th, 2004, the state court denies his application for a rehearing on the denial of the affirmation of the rule petition. That's literally what it is here.
Holy fuck.
Of the death penalty of the blah, 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 blah. And he shoots Buford and a partridge in a pear tree. Fuck. So October 1st, 2004, the Alabama Supreme Court denies his petition for a writ of, what is it, certiorari or whatever the fuck it is.
Sounds right.
I never know how to say that. It's fucking Latin. So Williams, then he files it's a petition for another writ of federal habeas corpus in the U.S. District Court. The whole deal. His issues are they're having this. It's a restricting issues one. It's only restricted to the scope of what it is. It is the issues are whether trial counsel were ineffective in presenting an invalid insanity defense. They go through the whole thing: prejudice, intoxication. There's a ton of different appeals on all of this. They all fail. Yeah. After all of these failures of trying to nitpick the law, finally May 19th, 2011 comes on, and that is execution day for him. Now they have another defense challenge here. They challenge the use of the lethal injection drug,
of course,
because it's new. Yeah. He will be the first person executed using this new cocktail of drugs after the old cocktail became unavailable in the state. So it's pentobarbital, and they argue that it wasn't proven to cease consciousness or otherwise stop the ability to feel pain, which is what the first drug does, knocks you out, and then the other one kills you. His lawyer said that violates the constitutional ban against cruel and unusual punishment, and so they take this all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, minutes before the execution is set to take place, denies his stay. So get fucked, mister.
We're about to find out if it causes pain.
We said, well, we got to learn somehow. Got to try it on somebody. You seem like the guy, is what they said.
Holy shit.
So
you're a guy that's taking a lot of drugs. You're a good guinea pig.
That's what it is. You don't mind, do you? So he's scheduled to be executed at 6 p.m. on that day, May 19th, 2011. Like we said, in April, they changed the protocol for the lethal injection. It was a month before. He filed all of these things. He also filed motions in district court, went all the way up to the Supreme Court, and was denied. At 12:55 p.m., Alabama Governor Robert Bentley, he's the final hope for a stay from the governor. You wait for that call. He said, no, thanks. I'm good. I got shit to do tonight, so I won't be calling anything. I'm going to be out to dinner with some friends, having some drinks. He said he will not intervene in the execution, according to his spokesman.
At 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, he's like,
for sure, let him have it.
I would have done this yesterday, honestly. We don't even need to wait till 6. We can move it up if we need to. So they said the day of his execution, he spent most of the day visiting with his mother, an aunt of his and they're not the same person. Right. His mother and his aunt are both there.
The two women. Yeah.
And other relatives in a visitation area at the prison. He did not request a last meal, but he ate a last meal, Jimmy. He didn't request a special one. What he ended up eating, this is the most depressing last meal we've ever heard, ever. He ate hot wings and sandwiches that relatives bought for him out of a vending machine.
What?
A vending machine.
Vending machine hot wings?
He didn't even come from the shit prison kitchen. It wasn't even the regular meal on a tray. He ate vending machine hot wings and
How does that even work?
One of those bad sandwiches with the plastic piece of yellow American cheese on it that's awful, and the thick turkey,
and it's cut in a triangle,
and it always has mayonnaise on it, no matter what, even though
and it's warm.
That's what he ate of his last fucking meal, from a vending machine.
The vending machine chicken wings are what's getting me, though. That's how do you even make that?
That's what I mean. You put them in a bowl.
At least order fucking Pizza Hut chicken wings.
What the fuck, man? Jesus Christ.
Were they boneless?
I hope so. I hope he didn't have to pick the meat off him, too. He just pop them in his mouth.
That's so gross.
So prior to his execution, they do ask him if he has any last words. And his last words are, quote, "I hope that the families of the victims forgive me for what I've done." So that's his last words.
I don't even forgive you for eating
hot wing vending machine hot wings.
Vending machine.
No shit. He smiled.
At least order a pint of ice cream like everybody else.
Yeah, get some fucking Haagen-Dazs like a normal person.
Jesus.
He smiled at his crying mother, and after he asked for forgiveness for the killings, he died by lethal injection at 6:19 p.m. on March 19th of that year. May 19th. Sorry. 10 of the family members of the victims were there, including Jeffrey.
Wow.
The man who was shot there, and also I believe Brad was there too.
Great.
So we have that.
Surviving sons of bitches.
Survivors, man.
In their 40s now.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Later, they witnessed the execution. This was at Holman Correctional Facility in Atmore, Alabama. Okay. Another viewing room also, William's mother and aunt would look in on him. The minister there was also a minister who works with death row families. They said that he appeared to be calm, Williams. When he smiled at his mom, had the chaplain there. They shot him up, and he dropped down. That was it. And he's fucking dead. So big deal. Yeah. Older brother here of Freddie Barber said that his family has suffered for the past 2 decades since the murders. He said that Brad Barber, who at the time was 16, who's now in his 30s, still has nightmares about the massacre here.
Fuck yes.
It's crazy here. This older brother, Louis, also said that, quote, "We're going to try to put it behind us and go on with our lives. You don't never really want to see somebody die, but I think justice was served. I never did think I'd live to see this day, but I did, and I thank the good Lord for it." That sounds like a guy from Alabama who really likes the death penalty.
He just contradicted the fucking... You don't never want to see somebody die.
But I think it's good.
Lord. I thank the good Lord for what I saw today.
You never want to see it, but when you see it, you got to thank the good Lord for it, because he did give it to you.
He did give that to me today.
That is a gift from Jesus.
Yes, sir.
They asked him. It's awesome. Jesus. They also asked him if he could ever forgive Williams after hearing his apology.
I don't forgive him for eating chicken wings out of a vending machine.
That vending machine sandwich looked terrible. Louis Barber, the older brother, said that, quote, "It's possible. He sounded kind of sincere. He asked us to forgive him. He said he was sorry. We'll take it from there." Okay. So maybe over time, who the fuck knows? Williams willed all of his worldly possessions to an Ellen Leabelle of Warrior, Alabama.
What did she get?
Nobody knows who she is to him or how she knows him or what the fuck, but his belongings were a Sanyo black and white TV in 2011. Yeah. Where the fuck do you get a black and white TV? That's not even available as an option.
What is that worth?
What is nothing? Assorted pictures and letters, cosmetics for some reason. I don't know if that meant soap and shit like that.
Was he?
No, I think it was probably soap and shit. Cosmetics.
Was he selling his ass in prison?
I think he was selling his ass. I had to pretty myself up. Not on death row, though. That's not possible. Right. A brown leather Bible, a shaving mirror, and then the jewel of the package.
Resistance.
18 postage stamps. That's worth at least $6 or $5. That's pretty good.
Are they 39 cents now? Is that what they are?
I have no idea.
I think they're in the 30s.
And you shouldn't know either with Stamps.com.
Right.
Should go to Stamps.com.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, we know that. So it's really weird though. So he's dead. Everything's gone. Little addendum onto this here. Harvard University's Fair Punishment Project released a study naming Mobile County as one of the 16 nationwide, quote, outliers in death penalty cases. The outliers are classified as counties that imposed 5 or more death sentences between 2010 and 2015.
Oh, they impose them. They actually do it.
Yeah, in that time, the study noted that Mobile County, which only has a population of 415,395, sentenced 8 defendants to death.
Holy shit.
Which is a lot. It places them alongside counties like Riverside County with 2.5 million people, Maricopa County, which we live in Phoenix, with over 4 million people here, and Clark County in Nevada, which is over 2 million people.
That's Vegas.
So those are big places, and this little place, they'll kill just as many.
They don't even have half of those people, and they're killing fucking just as many.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. They say that Harvard's report also says that convictions and sentences of the cases it examined were often the result of split juries, which we saw, inadequate defense, racial bias or exclusion, or overzealous prosecutors. And I got to be honest with you here, and they talk about some specific cases that we don't need to get into. Yeah. This is weird. Alabama, I looked for a case in Alabama, just geographically. I was looking for a case in Alabama. And I'm looking through these cases, and a lot of these cases, and it's weird because a lot of the southern states have this, where there's just a lot of robberies, and they catch these people for murder and robbery. There's a lot of just like nobody didn't know the person, went into a convenience store, shot a guy for $40, went out and bought liquor or something. There's a lot of that going on. That goes on everywhere, all the states, but they seemed extra heavy in the South. And then I found so many cases. Jimmy, I can't tell. This case took forever to pick out because I had gone through reading and looking into 3 different cases before this that all turned out to be more than likely false convictions.
That's fucked up.
Some of them ended up being actually overturned convictions of dead men, of men who were executed.
It's already over.
And some of them were still in the process of trying to exonerate a person who was put to death 20 years ago.
That's too bad.
And it was so, Jimmy, it broke my fucking heart. It was so, and this is why we say we don't love the death penalty. Because when you got a guy like this, who did it in front of a fuckload of people, said he did it, blah, 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 this is a different story. But when you have any questions at all, it's really fucked up. We can all root and say, fuck this guy. But there's people who get the death penalty that we don't know if they did it. And there were so many people down there. And I mean, call it whatever it is, but I'm just going to call it like it fucking is, like it's factual. Most of the people, all 3 of these cases I found were black guys. 2 out of the 3 had IQs under 60. Jesus. Under 60. Jesus. Dude, Forrest Gump was like a 72, man. Under 60. They couldn't understand even what the fuck was going on. They forced them and coerced them to sign statements that they didn't know what they were. They couldn't fucking read, and they'd have them read a statement and sign it when they're illiterate.
Terrible.
Shit like that, where they railroaded these people.
The old song, the
no evidence.
Steve Earle song, Billy Austin. It's just black, brown, and poor people.
No evidence.
Nothing.
And that's the other thing. The white guy that was in there just super poor. And it was just like they were fucking... It was just basically they needed to make an arrest because someone shot, Ellie Mae and Susie Bob, and that they said it was probably that guy, and he didn't deny because he's too stupid. I heard her scream,
"It's a black guy,"
and we can convict him because he's too stupid to do anything about it, and that's what ends up happening.
And he has no money,
and that's what it is. And I saw that so much, and more than any other state. I mean, I found 1 or 2 in other states or whatever. This was. So many of them, I had to take a step back and go, what the fuck? How am I going to find a case? They're all bullshit. They just net anybody and bring them in.
What do they get in Alabama? They make SEC champions and fucking death row criminals.
And lethal injection parties.
Candidates.
So anyway, that is Irvington, Alabama, and that is the story of all those poor dead people, the barbers, the Paravacinis, and terrible thing here, and a little bit of a weird state also. Hope you liked that story.
Hope you did.
If you did, I know what you can do. Jimmy, do you have an idea? Because I do.
They could go to iTunes.
Holy shit, could they give us 5 stars?
That'd be helpful.
Doesn't matter what they say about us because it's not for our egos, and we know that for a fact. It's just for business purposes. Help us with that funky iTunes algorithm if that's not enough for you. And you want to be an even bigger superstar.
Oh, we got a list of them.
Like a list of them that we're going to read in a minute. The people that we love the most, our producers. You can do that by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or going over to PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. You can reach us there, or you can reach us at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Murder Small on Twitter, Small Town Pod on Facebook. Just search for Small Town Murder, and you will find us. Or go to the website, shutupandgivememurder.com, where you can find everything about us. You can find merch, new T-shirts out there, mugs, tour dates, which will be up very soon.
Shit,
Towels, bath mats, shower curtains, you name it. We got it on that website. Do that. But none of that shit matters because the only thing that matters now, with everything out of the way, are our favorite people.
Yes.
Our producers, our list of the most wonderful people that I'd like to hear right now. Give it to me, Jimmy.
This week was incredible. Thank you guys so much. The executive producers are Susan DeGoya, Aaron Cox, Thomas Spade, Chrissy Ann Castaldi, the color chick. I don't know who that is. I imagine
thank
Google
you
that.
for your color chick.
Jason Daniels, Travis McCullum, Brianna Becky, I think it is. It might be Beck.
Beck or with the B.
She is fucking amazing.
You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Ridiculous,
We
Brianna.
We want to know how to pronounce your name correctly because you're awesome. Thank you.
It's ridiculous that I'm struggling on that, but I'm going to nail Nilu Rafsanjani.
Yeah,
How
well,
about that?
we met him. We know him.
Her.
I was thinking of, sorry.
It's all right. She's the bodybuilder in San Francisco.
She's cool as shit. I remember her.
Yeah.
She's totally awesome. I was thinking of Portland.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool dude. I forget his name.
I know his name, too.
The guy moving to the shithole that we covered.
Yes, that's a cool dude.
Right.
Yeah, really, really cool guy. I love that guy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary to Chrissy and Travis Saunders. God damn it. Chrissy Saunders and Travis Saunders in Utah. They came to the Phoenix Live show.
Yeah.
Thank you guys both. Happy anniversary.
Yeah, thank
Shelley
you so much.
Trollian, I think it is Trolian. Trollian. That's a difficult one, and I don't.
Sounds
whatever.
right. Trollian.
I think I got it. I think it's Trollian. I think so.
Yeah.
And then happy Father's Day to Jeff Terry. I know it's late. We missed last week, but happy Father's Day, man. I hope you had a great day. Way to leave it in there.
Happy Father's Day.
Emily Meany Gilbert, Bree Ryan, Jason Fuller, Craig McGeechin, Tabitha Beyer, Raul Lima, Chelsea Gerleman, Tyler Adkins, Kapow Designs, Cat Power, Abby Hinson, Under the Sea Fabrics, John Codling, Sean Hartley, Ashley View or Vo, Nicolette Kisleff.
She's awesome. She always donates, and we don't know how to say her name. It's terrible.
I ruined it. It's French.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking vowels.
Probert.
Right. Kaylee Davis, Patrick Fett or Fetty, Angelia Wells, Jake LeBeer came through again. Thanks, Jake. Mary Faust, Amy Rowlerson, Angela McGovern, Michael Kennedy. That's right, Mike Kennedy.
Mike, okay. Thanks, man.
Every time I want
Every time, huh?
I got to get you a new name, man. Jillian Hardy, Heather Norton, Barbara Johnson, Emmy Dumont, Jesse Hartman, that guy, and Ted Cyrus and Jesse.
Yes, thank
you guys are fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Annalise Del Hall, Laura Fauson or Fauswan. Not going to try much harder.
Not going to mess it up.
Right. Crystal Cook, Corey with no last name, Lexi Skelton, Sean Hartley, Gariskus, I think, Cassandra Schro, Chris Karen, Sandra with no last name, Kat with no last name, Nicholas Matthias. Yes. No.
Matthias.
You're probably right.
Maybe. I don't fucking know.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
that's all.
We both are idiots. I mean, neither of us can read names.
Tim Holzum, Faison Khan, Faison Khan. That's true.
Cool name.
Chloe Huchula, Tabitha Beyer. I think I said that once. Jordan Merchant, Vicky Yano Shaw. Yes. Yes.
You said like that, like it was confirmed by that person in the room.
I'm positive.
Yes.
Aaron Terrell, Nathan Nolte. That guy's awesome. He's a cop. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate
Thank you, Nathan.
Lisa McLaughlin, Pickle Bean. That's weird. I knew two guys in high school, one named Pickle, one named Bean.
Yeah.
That's weird. Brianna maybe somebody picked that up.
Probably.
No, maybe. I don't know.
Who the fuck knows?
We called him Pickle because he stood up and walked, and he was really stoned. And somebody goes, if a pickle could stand up and walk, it would walk like you. So then they just called him Pickle forever.
Why a pickle did they pick that
They were stoned too. That's why.
That's an odd thing to pick. Were you eating pickles?
I would have said dildo.
Was there pickles around?
No, there were no pickles anywhere near.
This doesn't make sense.
Troy Graham, Brianna Shabalin, I think they said that. Mara Spencieri. That's it.
Hey.
Yeah. Thomas with no last name. Brinshindo? No. Brinshido, 39, I think. No. Maybe. Martini?
No, maybe. Possibly.
Martinis and Macabre podcast. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Corey Brax, Troy Huseby, Sarah Carter, Stephanie Wheeler, Luke Young, Vanessa Costner, Hannah Taylor, DBA. No name, just DBA.
Doing business as
I think
a donor.
Right.
Thank you.
Lisa Harden, Callie Johnson. Yes. Yeah, sure. Megan Perry.
What the hell?
Megan Perry, Bryant Toole, Kat Oyala.
Oh, cool.
She's
Hey,
terrific.
Kat.
Thanks, Kat. Kate Myers, Stitches and Steel. I don't know what that is. I think it's a business.
I think you should look it up and buy some shit from them. That's what I think.
Stitch or Steal, fucking call them.
Call them up.
Denise Clapp. stay away from the clap.
Yeah.
Avoid the clap, Jimmy
Avoid
Dugan.
the clap.
That's good advice.
That's good advice. I love that.
Atlanta
Love
Fernard,
that so much.
Francisco Bento, Tony Dodson, Amanda Patravito. Yes, Amanda Patravito.
I love how you celebrate when you think you get yes.
Fucking yeah.
It's not even yes, that's what it is. It's yes. Got it out.
Lindsay Morse donating some of that Morse code fortune.
Thank you.
Carrie Centeno, Corey Luthan, I think. No?
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm done.
Luthan?
Jason Scott, Toralf Karji.
What was that last one? Toralf Karji?
Toralf Karji.
All right.
I think so.
Thank you, Toralf.
Lila Blake, Steve Schnell over there in Philly.
Hey,
Thanks,
Steve.
Matthew Jarrett, Austin Fowler, Louisa Williams, Andy Reynolds, Janae Content, Content, right? Content? I don't know.
I don't know. You have the names in front of you.
You're
Jimmy.
right. Allie Cannon Remote Sessions, Jessica, Nora Vickery, Norel Page, Angela Shaw, Cordell McNabb. I hope that, God damn it, I want it to be.
That's Cordell Stewart and Donovan McNabb's love child.
I want it to be so bad. Related to one of them.
Yeah.
Lucas Biggs, Jonathan Couch. No, yes, it is.
Yes.
No, it's Jay Nathan. Jay Nathan Couch? Or is
Jay
it Jonathan?
Nathan Couch. Ooh. Either way.
Fuck, did I skip an O?
What a turn on.
Brianna Pink Pampina, Araya Griffin, Devin, Regnikoff.
Yes.
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 And then Casey Catalan. Thank you guys.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, we can't tell you how much we appreciate it. And if you knew the behind the scenes of it all, you would know
the stress.
How fucking important that is, because you literally keep us alive and keep us being able to pay our bills while we're trying to fucking navigate insane business bullshit with assholes. So, that said, we can't thank you guys enough. And what if somebody said they can't thank you enough and they want to find you and tell you that? How can they do it, Jimmy?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks. And I love hearing from you guys. I love seeing the dog pictures. That's fucking
They're awesome.
Bananas lately, too, by the way. And thank you guys so much for everything. We really appreciate you.
Absolutely. And I'm at Jimmy P is Funny. You can get a hold of me there, or you can copy and paste my last name from the show description and find me somewhere else. Go for it. Don't hurt yourself. Don't try to spell it. It's just a mess and you won't be able to do it.
At least stretch first.
At least stretch. Yeah, you're going to pull a hammy. You know what I mean? So that said, everybody, guys, we're very excited to come back next week and every single week. And until next week, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.